Yeah, man, the man in the wilderness, we can't stall. Welcome to Town Hall. What am I say, man? Be there. Be there. Yeah, man. And say every Sunday we have to beat it till the armor bend, Yes, we beat it till the armor bend. Yeah? Yeah, man. Today, we're going to start from the minister. We'll start from the minister, The well, we're going to start from you again. Because the whole of Jamaica ball, you try to, put a blindfold over them eye. But now I will not work with that. So so we have to beat it. Yeah, man. But them I try to do is pin the JPS and try to trick the people them and them thing that now work. Andrew, if I fire him, yeah? You need to get fired. This a joke. This a garbage. We could start on now, no? We could start it. Good evening, good night, good morning, good afternoon, worldwide. Yeah, man, this is Town Hall.
Chat them a chat, them a chat, them a chat. None of them a chat, them a bad like the cat. Chat them a chat, them a chat, them a chat. None of them a chat, them a bad like the cat. Chat them a chat, them a chat, them a chat. None of them a chat, them a bad like the cat. Chat them a chat, them a chat, them a chat. None of them a chat, them a bad like the cat. One of them this some tune a cat. I love your kick and tune a box. Punch your car left it on two block. I know when the boy can't take for props. Tell me somebody sell this smooth a box. Them little lunatic I send me tax. We don't have time to waste, we have things to pack. I'm telling them one of this tune a cat. Chat them a chat, them a chat, them a chat. None of them a chat, them a bad like the cat. Chat them a chat, them a chat, them a chat. None of them a chat, them a bad like the cat. Chat them a chat, them a chat, them a chat. None of them a chat, them a bad like the cat. Chat them a chat, them a chat, them a chat. None of them a chat, them a bad like the cat. Chat them a chat, I wonder who them a chat to. Them no bad like them and them from Rockfort and back to. If them raise up them voice, you know the face a go knock to. Lump and build the rhythm, feel the word them come rock to.
Yeah, man, we have to kick it off, until my sister and brother sign in, right? So we have to kick it off, all right? So the people in my ball in Jamaica right now, I want to say ball in my ball. And we say Falls come out, and I try to throw JPS under the bus. Yes, and I throw all you are under the bus. But him now, listen to him say, remember now, him get the 300% raise the other day. The minute stand over them, right? 200% to 300% raise. No, I tell we, all time own mouth, say him not gonna work. Say him go back, him not have no bite. Him say him back, him not have no bite. Hey, my sister.
Hold on. Hold on.
You know my sister, right? Yeah, man. From a different mom, right? And different dad. Yes.
My brother, what's going on?
I'm here, sis. You good?
Happy Sunday evening to you and to everybody in the chat. A blessed Sunday evening and a prosperous week ahead. And before I start, I have somebody is coming to me, so I have to be listening for them. But I'll be in and out a little, but as soon as they come, yeah, man. So I'll just let you know. Yeah, man. So what going, my brother?
We'll be there, man, and we just talk about the Minister of Energy and the mining and them thing, the Darrell Falls,
Darrell Falls.
Yeah, Darrell Falls, the Super Zero. Super Zero. Yeah, because he want paint. He went out with the JPS, but he want paint himself as a Super Zero, not hero, not zero, right? Well, he want Super Zero, so he not have to paint himself. He want to paint himself as a superhero, but we know him as Super Zero. And he come in and one speech, I'm going to play it. Where him say, he want to go back, but he not have no bite. Let them get one, again, get the 300% the other day.
True.
And he just admit it, say, not performing.
So what is it? Because the Prime Minister said they have give him a job description and they're getting a salary based on performance. So since he's not performing, he should be fired.
Yes. So him come and say this, people, not me, so we're going to play that. Yes. I want to play what the Prime Minister said too, when they were in opposition. I have to play that too because, I have to play that. When they were in opposition, them come and them say what they want to say. But right now, we have to hold them to account, right? I play the Prime Minister when they were in opposition. before them win. But the JPS. And by the way, oh, you are, you know, them have to follow the regulation, them have to follow the rules and the guidelines for them get. They follow here. All right, hear this.
The Labour Party will make sure that we put in place more efficient electricity generating plants to bring down the cost of electricity to you. I don't like to make promise. I make commitment. And under the Labour Party government, we are going to ensure that we bring to this country the big power plants. We are going to ensure that we bring to this country the big energy companies that can put the money in here to build the plants to give you cheaper and better electricity.
That plenty, right? So we expect that one from 2015, 2016. And you know, you win the election and then come in and now 2024, soon 2025. Oh, it's not like this. And then enough people know where that pay like, yeah, pay 20,000, you look your light big to 60,000. And then the government are going like them don't know about it. So I'm going to play something and you want to hear, you remember them lie, you know, them lie. And then super falls run out and we want to blame the JPS. He want to do an audit too. Spend billions of dollars do an audit to know why the light bill gone. JPS admitted. Say them send the letter to the government, to them, to the Minister of Finance before Hurricane Beryl. Not my word, people. And Hurricane Beryl touched down on the 3rd. That come before that from in June. So them tell them that so them have to switch over. Yeah, from the natural gas back to the diesel. And it's a 2 to 3 times higher. Not my word.
And the counterclaims between the government and the Jamaica Public Service Company over the hike in electricity bills for some JPS customers in July, the government will be launching a special audit into the increase. Energy Minister Darrell Vaz made that declaration at a press conference at the ministry's head office in St. Andrew this morning. Kalisha Williams was there.
Thank you. So the press conference ended a few minutes ago, and I will start with the action the government will be taking. So many of you may be aware that a lot of JPS customers saw a drastic increase in their July bills. Some saw as much as 100% increase in their bills for July after the passage of Hurricane Beryl. Well, Energy Minister Darrell Vaz said a few moments ago that the government will be launching a special audit into the increase in the July bills for JPS customers. I know many of you would also remember that JPS had explained that the reason for the increase in the JPS bills for July was due to fuel charges because they had to switch from liquefied natural gas, LNG, to automotive fuel, diesel fuel, ADO, in preparation for Hurricane Beryl. And ADO, according to JPS, is twice as expensive as LNG. And they wrote to the Finance Ministry expressing those concerns that customers would see an increase because they had to switch to ADO. Well,
so people, them said them wrote to the government. Them wrote to the government. Maria, I make it hear about this.
No, I heard it.
Yeah, you heard it, right? So
yes.
This is like that's what we like dissect so. No tabla, right? We have to hold them to account. So when him a play, a politics him a play, you know. False, you know. So I have to come out to be the superhero, what him a superhero. I have to play it back with the people in here. You hear this?
July, the government will be launching a special audit into the increase. Energy Minister Darrell Vaz made that declaration at a press conference at the ministry's head office in St. Andrew this morning. Kalisha Williams was there.
Thank you. So the press conference ended a few minutes ago, and I will start with the action the government will be taking. So many of you may be aware that a lot of JPS customers saw a drastic increase in their July bills. Some saw as much as 100% increase in their bills for July after the passage of Hurricane Beryl. Well, Energy Minister Darrell Vaz said a few moments ago that the government will be launching a special audit into the increase in the July bills for JPS customers. I know many of you would also remember that JPS had explained that the reason for the increase in the JPS bills for July was due to fuel charges because they had to switch from
So JPS don't tell the people. Remember those that went false. Don't spend taxpayers' money around here. Now I'm the sister talk right now. Don't spend them taxpayers' money. So we're gonna stop it and dissect it, because if the JPS tell UNO, right tonight, light the clock, the minister, that mean the prime minister know, that mean you know.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know, I'm gonna do special audit with your friend and give them how much, maybe 2, 3, 5 billion. We're gonna do a special audit to know why the increase, but we know that at the diesel where them are use, so it double up or more. So we know that already. So you're gonna pay them over how much billion to come find out why the price go up for July.
Waste of taxpayers' money, Wayne. Waste of taxpayers' money. That's not what they need to audit. They need to audit the ministries, because I'm 100% sure the ministry that he's in charge of have a lot of misappropriations of funds and funds that they cannot account for. So they're auditing the wrong place. They can hold the JPS before Parliament to answer questions. They don't need to do an audit. They really don't need to do an audit. And what they need to do an audit, and they're not auditing. But they say to save face. They're not serious people. They say to save face and to distract from other things that are more important. Auditing the JPS is not one of those things. It's not.
So
they
right
need to focus on other things. Yes.
Him there. So right away, this is what them do, is just pose up. In man of politics, this is foolishness. This is a garbage front. I mean, but anyway, the two of them are garbage. We don't think that a garbage fan. Both of them are garbage. Yeah, them are
nonsense.
See, and then while we have taxpayers' money, so you look like him do something, but yes, still, him admitted say him on go back. Him on go back. Not my word. Him admitted. Continue.
Liquefied natural gas, LNG, to automotive fuel, diesel fuel, ADO, in preparation for Hurricane Beryl. And ADO, according to JPS, is twice as expensive as LNG. And they wrote to the Finance Ministry expressing those concerns that customers would see an increase because they had to switch to ADO.
So people, so here the answer there. For the special audit, we're going to spend maybe $3, $4, $5 billion. On a call out now, all right, make that well fast this. We get the answer already. Them write to the ministry, and it's around from June. And so them are going to use back the natural gas, them going back to the diesel. And it's like it's a 2 times or more. It's the right front away. So if you want to find out why them charge the money, it's right here. It's right here. When my talk don't make no sense. A garbage. Waste of money. Yeah? But let me tell you what we're disappointed in too. You have some local medias, them not listen. And them not ask the right question. Them just make him talk. And them love him. Him say everything we want to say right, that's all. Continue.
But Mr. Vaz also indicated that JPS applied for and got a 91% concession, which worked out to be about over $350 million, which would reduce the burden on customers.
So again, 350 million. Yeah, concession. 91% concession. That couldn't work out to everything. That couldn't work out. 91% not work out. I think for what you do. Because as I said before, if you used to buy an egg, I just use egg. For instance, you buy an egg and a $5 in your area. And you buy the egg at $5. So you would sell it back for $8. Right? And then egg short. So you have to go down a town, go buy the egg. You live at east. You still have to take taxi, go and taxi come back. Right? And you buy egg, but they have to import it. And pay the duties and everything. And then you have to pay $15 for your egg now. They have to say, I can buy the egg. After you pay a taxi fee and pay $15 egg now, you just sell egg for $8. You used to get it for $5, but you do go back to your yard and carry it to your shop and sell it back for $8 again. It's not gonna work. Yeah. I'm out piece too. So it won't work, people. Can't work. We don't know what's that garbage, right? It won't work. So I like right that's now. Not gonna work. So yesterday, you got hear him saying him back. Remember, them just get raised up here, back money, and the government they tell us say, the reason why them not work because they're not paying them good. No, Vaza tell us say, him on go back. Don't take him serious, man, do PR. I don't think they just work out to PR rubbish. Yeah.
Mr. Vaz also indicated that based on his conversation with Petrojam, customers should only have seen a 6% increase in their...
All right, so you know, so that's a foolishness matter. If you even go have a conversation, and let's station, you know, based on conversation with Petrojam, you know, you're hungry at 600. Petrojam can't say, yeah, you know, you have a conversation, so Petrojam, but them buy the thing for you know. Them can't talk to him and say, yeah, this, I give them, I buy, how much you buy with that, $70? Okay, I give them it for $40. Then the government will lose a bag of money. Impossible again. Because Petrojam have to make, buy the barrel of oil for 76 hours, what they want to buy it for. And then turn around and them have to deal with it. Because them have oil refinery. You see? And then you have to pay for that product there. So them have to give it for weight value. Okay, because them have to make back money. Because remember the raw oil, like, the oil, remember you have to, them have to refine it first, you know. Right? So it don't make no sense. We must say based on your talk to Petrojam and you go see 6%. Yeah, it again. But him back again. Continue.
Bill. So he's rejecting the claims by JPS that the reason behind the increase was due to increase in fuel charges. Now,
I reject the claim. The reason because increase. Them change from wanting the cheaper, the gas. Yeah? The natural gas. So diesel, well, 2 times or more dear, more expensive. Some say we reject, when reject. But you know what hurt though? When them write to the government and make the government aware of this, the government of Jamaica should you know, come out and do a press briefing same way. Same like when you have a little shooting and everything like this, very important. And you tell the people them say, listen, on a bill, because them have to move from that and this. No, them hide it. And them go like them no know. That's not good. Yeah. You understand? It's not good. Yeah? See? It's not good. At time for move them up. Because it's wrong. See? Hold them accountable. Time for move them up because it's wrong. Yeah? Yeah. Yeah? It's wrong. This wrong. This is garbage. See? So come out and then spread in garbage. And then you know, him come out and spread him garbage. Yeah? Spread him garbage. And then him tell the same back. Him won't go back, but him not have no bite. So it's a no teeth dog. I am saying that in a dog bark, right? You know, remember, you know, he said bark, so he might tell us a dog. I don't hear cat bark, you know, so we can't call him a no teeth dog, right? Right, false? I mean, you're lion no back. Lion the road. You see? I mean, you're cow back. A bull or something, you know? Yeah, but me know dog back. So him say, you know, him no bite, him back. Hunger back alone him have. Continue.
I'll have more updates on this story in Primetime News at 7.
Thanks, Kalisha. Now, more news from the energy sector. Despite its announcement of a probe into billing practices of the JPS, the Office of Utilities Regulation, OUR, continues to face criticisms from the Energy Minister. Daryl Vaz says...
When the people, so Emma do, it more you for peace, the phone side now, you know. Yeah? The whole of this is foolishness, garbage. I'm more listen one word out of time out because them just get a big PI. But listen one word, not my saying, not me. Listen.
The OUR's performance in protecting JPS customers has been a disaster. Giovanni Dennis has this TVJ News follow-up.
Since taking charge of the energy portfolio, Daryl Vaz believes regulator, the Office of Utilities Regulation, OUR, has inspired little confidence.
You know, him got to OUR and people don't know how the agency are. So when I come and talk to it, it don't make no sense again. It don't make any sense around here. See? All we have to tell the government, so them know, so they might go back to diesel. Prime Minister Andrew want to see the promise when you were in opposition, you promise a lot of things. But now you make commitments, but they break it and fulfill it. Right? So him that make this cheaper than anything else. But I not fulfill. Not my thing. Watch out.
Based on my experience in Beryl, and I can only speak for myself as minister personally, yes? The OUR has been absolutely a disaster.
Yes. Can you imagine now? He might attack a government-run agency, right? He might attack it. Absolutely disaster. He might attack himself. That makes sense too, no? And then hearing speech now, then when he attack himself, him think himself way under the bus. And that big mama and that tree all over the place, and that trailer, everything. Yeah.
Protecting the customers of the JPS in this Beryl saga.
Mr. Vaz is taking issue with the tone of the OUR's response to concern he raised with the entity regarding protection of vulnerable customers struggling since Beryl.
Their statements are very clear that after the recovery and the restoration is when they will do their deep dive and come up with whether or not.
Man, I talk about a deep dive, because a deep dive thing are not working. Some people still talking about pandemic zone, you know. What I can say, the deep dive thing, where am I going with deep dive, man? I want 3 man. Eh? Where am I going with the deep dive thing, eh?
There is need for regulatory change, legislative change.
It's a legislative change. So if you're government, the people them are face it, you know. Yes. If you're government and you say legislative, you don't go change it. Look at motorists in Jamaica, them under hard time right now. Why never changed it before? Eh? Terrible. Very terrible. Continue.
Or any sanctions that will be imposed on JPS. That alone tells the whole story. So who is protecting the people?
Mr. Vaz says despite his...
Hold on. Some say, who is protecting the people? Me think we have a government. me think we have a government. I will play back Andrew on this. You know, to say this thing. Me think we have a government. Him says, so who is protecting the people? That mean the government now work. Simple up himself again. Let me play it back again because I hear it. Sister, you know, make sure you hear this. Yeah.
Change or any sanctions that will be imposed on JPS. That alone tells the whole story. So who is protecting the people?
Mr. Vaz.
So people at the government, that member cabinet, you know. He might run this. Yeah. Yeah, man. Where's the Catherine? Run out of oxygen. But you know when you take a while when you hear this? Them want legislative changes, you know. Nobody now listen to them. But yes, still him at all legislative, but yes, still him at like oh you are. And him this and him that. And who protecting the people? Me think you have a government here to make the changes. Remember you know people, let me tell you something. Don't make no government trick on. Any red tape on there. You can just cut up any red tape at any time. Yeah? Different from the Constitution when nobody now you're in the opposition have to do that. Where them now just make you go pass because they want to destroy the Constitution and put in for them king. Their own king. Right? The opposition stop them from do that. Appear, man. Disappear. I don't want to appear when I like it. When I can, that one you easy enough, you know, because this is a special tonal around here. Where you have to come and when you can chop them. This is a special tonal. You understand? A tonal is special. That one is special. Yeah? A tonal is special. You have to come and chop them. Yeah, man. Tell them the truth and hold them and tell hold them to account. Them on the back of foolishness. See? Yeah.
Says despite his outcries and appeals, he feels toothless.
No bite. I only have bark.
People, we're done with him. So you tell me now, let me just see this now. You tell me now, say, we are paying how much million? Cabinet minister, them money, you know, them look over 20 million they get more than 16 million. Cabinet minister, right? How much a cabinet minister get now like this? When you look it up for me now, please and tell me fast. Because him admit say him not have no bite. Him on go back. This is the dog without teeth. I'm a talk fuck him never want bite with him gum. Eh? It's a worthless dog. Eh? Remember now we say this, you have to take out a piece and play it all the while. Yeah? The dagger, yeah, go come out and a chat tough. Let me play it back. I play it back. You have to hear it, you know, remember, you know, and me say it, you know, not my word. Eh? But what's the case to realize? Eh? Yeah, this.
And JPS. That alone tells the whole story. So who is protecting the people?
Mr. Vance says despite his outcries and appeals, he feels toothless.
No bite. I only have bark. And I've been barking, I've been writing, and the fact of the matter is that nothing has changed. And the reason...
You hear these people? So what are doing at the job? Fire him! So don't make him come with him back. Remember me not say this. I've him say, hey, PMP, what I do? So Paul, well, you not hear this. Oh, you not copy of the piece that thing and bring it back on him, man. Eh? What you not doing? You hear this? Paul, you have to copy that piece that thing. I've say him not have no bite. Go back. So him useless. Call back, him back. Yeah? Him back. Eh? When you hear this one yourself, not me. Not my word. See? When you hear, me have to play it back again. So I make you listen. When you take out a piece and play it back on him, you know. Yeah. Because when I pay millions per year for the minister, yeah. When I do no work, and if you didn't come and tell him now do no work, you say, why, me rate him and him get 10 out of 10. Him is a sub-zero. Him telling us him now work for no. And then him do have no idea of working. This supposed to be a soundbite, of course, Rastafari. You see? We're going to play it 2 more times. Maria, it's running a ditch now because we're going to play it 2 more times. Yeah.
Mr. Personally, yes? The OUR has been absolutely a disaster in protecting the customers of the JPS in this very saga.
Mr. Vaz is taking issue with the tone of the OUR's response to concern he raised with the entity regarding protection of vulnerable customers struggling since Beryl.
Their statements are very clear that after the recovery and the restoration is when they will do their deep dive and come up with whether or not there is need for regulatory change, legislative change, or any sanctions that will be imposed on JPS. That alone tells the whole story. Yes. So who is protecting the people?
Mr.
The government now protect you neither. When you hear this, them now work neither. If the people right now, them no man, them for go on, man. So everything with them come with a be a lies and be a PR. Far as themselves come say. And you know when him come tell the truth. And the truth him attack you know. And the first never him come fast come tell the truth. And because he might try help himself. So him come tell us say him no work. Him won't go back. Him no buy crown here, him won't go back. They won't go back. You understand? No, them can make the change, you know. Because legislative member them a legislator. So but him won't go back. Him telling the truth. Him say him not work. Him a tell us say them not work. Him not work. The government not working. What them do is make nice. Them back, you know. And him toothless. He not have none. The man both for himself. Lady J-Lo. He both for himself. Hey, listen, man. When you take out a piece, yeah, and when you use it, make him hear himself. See? Pantona to the ring out this 9 years. 16 million state minister. No minister, not in my full minister. Minister of state, how much the minister gets? Yes, a state minister. Yes. 16 million. Just find the right thing there for me. 16 million, right? For do what? Yeah. Come on, state minister. So 16 million. This bad. What we have paid them money for? Eh? No bite. So when you hear him run out and I say, I'm going to do this, I'm just make us spend more money for nothing at all. But it don't make no sense in now, no use. And that thing tell me. Play again.
Vance says despite his outcries and appeals,
him outcry. People, by the way, when him do outcry and appeal, from when? I'm not sure when him say before this, you know. I'm not sure him in the helicopter. So him say him make outcry and appeal with JPS. Eh? Yeah, but you say you need one A to help them solve it. Tell them, okay. Let me give you time. I spend billions of dollars. I wait for taxpayers' money. Yeah? See?
he feels toothless.
No bite. I only have bark.
That by me says, hey, I want that bad. No man, this is a bite of the year. You hear this? The man, at this time, hey, them say back, they want to call him just no bite. Remember, you know, it's something that's about this body, you know. No, eh? This body. No man, I want a body, no. I want a bad. He might tell us, no, me don't have bite. Hey, right away there. That one have bad. The man say, me don't have bite. No back. Me don't have bite. No back. Where I want to take you? Eh. Where I say? Hear this. The man I try to show who you are and JPS under the bus. And by the way, people, Jamaican people, remember this. Remember, JPS tell the government them right to the finance ministry and let them know so they might use back diesel, not the natural gas, I forget. So the price are gonna go up in July. He might pretend like him never know. The government never know, so him run out. And I talk about for the people. Remember, he had the government for over 8 years. Apart from the government. Yeah. Eh? Daddy back. Eh? No bite, you know, just back. Just nice. Nice maker. Yeah.
That alone tells the whole story. So who is protecting the people?
Mr. Vance says despite his outcries and appeals, he feels toothless.
No bite. I only have bark.
Okay. Hey, no. When we want our money, I know, hey, no people this serious. No laugh, but it's serious. Eh? This nobody serious. This serious. Eh? Look on this and tell me how it's serious now. The man has taken him and said, no, he won't have back. He may have no bite. The man attack on himself, saying not for, hey, me could just dissect it phone, you know. Eh? He might look sympathy now, but it's serious. He might tell us, say, we are paying the bag of money and him not working. He might tell us, say, them toothless. Him say, me don't have bite. Me don't have bar, me don't have no bite. So can you imagine you have bar, woo, and something come near you, all your gum can't bite. You never not try with the gum. Eh. Yeah, but not him flap himself though. Class perfect. Don't look on the big flap here. Him can't come and tell me nothing else, you know. Can him come flip round this, you know, we hold him again, you know. Eh? Him still right up your back. I'll be back. The Prime Minister won't go back. Him walk and cut ribbon and everything. He won't go back. They won't go back. So then tell us that they do pure rubbish. And if you not catch something like this, me I wonder if you have good journalism, I go under Jamaica, and you are interview him, and him say this. Me that follow it up. I say, but you just admit on camera, say you don't have back. So, oh, yeah, no people take them big pay height, them pay raise there. I go home with you not work feet because you're not doing the work. You just admit, say you're not working. You admit, say you're not good. You admit, say you're not doing no work for the money where you get. Yeah? People never make sure to cut apart and never play it one more time. Cheater?
After the recovery and the restoration is when they will do their deep dive and come up with whether or not there is need for regulatory change, legislative change, or any sanctions that will be imposed on JPS. That alone tells the whole story. So who is protecting the people?
Mr. Vance says despite his outcries and appeals, he feels toothless.
No bite. I only have bark. And
Hey, no, man, people. I have to rewind it again because I can't believe that minister this are telling the truth about himself. When a man come speak now, he can't tell me nothing else, you know. I have to cut a little piece of what I have to use every minute. Yes, when I need to use it. He might tell you about it under the first. He do it for the bus. The JPS bus. The thing the bus. The new one, the JPS car, and the other one. He do it for the bus the other day. The urban transit bus. We're not telling about raise up piano and things, and you know, one man says something and then come back and say something else. He do this more than one time as a minister. And he might tell us, listen me, don't follow me now to me and make me not work. My work list. Me don't go back. Me not serious. Me I get paid, me I get free money. Me not working for it. Yeah? Me not work. Well, make go play him back. Me say me play one more time, but lady, never play back again.
who is protecting the people?
Mr. Vance says despite his outcries and appeals, he feels toothless.
No bite. I only have bark.
Oh, okay. No, every time I see now. No, hold on there. Hold on. A part in said it's about himself. He might not take him in and tell him serious. See them serious about it. Eh? And toothless man. Eh? Him tell you, him say, not my word, you know. Not my word. See? Yeah, man. Yeah, man. See it? But let me tell you this, the minister, everything for Mary, everything for the minister still, you know. Because you're a minister, and I remember you have to keep all you are, the teeth. Because you don't have no teeth, and you make all you are and have none. All you are, let me show you about all you are, because I'm showing you something with all you are, too, you know. See? So then leave all you are toothless. They don't have no teeth neither. See? Because you don't have none. So you make sure, because I remember them, you know, sometimes you have some people get kicked back, you know. So then a business about people. But the biggest thing about this, you know, the man want to special audit and spend maybe billions or hundreds of millions of dollars. For nothing at all. For find out why the JPS, you know, increase your light bill increase. Yes, the JPS right and tell them say that increase because them are used back. Them change it to diesel. From the natural gas, we then can't get them change to diesel. And this is from around June. This is before the hurricane. So them tell them. So them know. But when I try to know, because somebody sent something to me. Like him, yeah. See? Them know. No, them say. No, I give them a money pull up in a ass. Yeah, man, I have to give him a money pull up. Who want him see this? And people hear him, they will have put and all over the place. Or him come flap himself. But in own words, I hold him. That's what I like when people talk, you know, because when them talk, then you dissect them on here. And that's if them make any sense. If them sensible. Because them talk on themselves all the time, you know. Eh? See? Them talk on themselves all the time. Because they must say, must save himself. No, say, I run out and I be a hero. You know who me hears that? Emily Cooks. Emily Shields. I seen Emily Crooks, right? Yes, I see the same one. She said it, you know. She said, I pull off something that look good for him. So I'm run with it. And she said, Carla said that she's part of the government. You think that joke I will play it? I will play it and then I listen back where I must look away. Well, I never play this. But Emily there. Well, more play something with Emily. Emily, I will play something with Emily. Because I wanna dangerous. Emily. Yeah, teacher. All right. I wanna dangerous. I look something with Emily. Run through my phone and I look something with Emily. But Emily, let me see if I no, another one. Another one later. I'm look for the Emily thing when we just play. Because I'm a play it. And just say marvelous and when I do my position itself. I'm going to this. No, you're not position yourself. You just make me know say we are getting some money and not working, sir. I will make you know. Yeah, well, some things I make you know him. He make you know say him one of them ghetto dog. Yes, I want like uptown dog. I make you know say him one of the whole dog where him teeth then drop out and him no bite. Him on go back. Not my word, him say. Him make you know say the government him have no use. Him useless. He might get the big pay, but he's not working. Yes. He tell me, you know. He said, make a up with it. You come like, I forgot this. Yeah? Yeah. Yeah. Zane? Yeah. But hear this. Hear this.
Feels toothless.
No bite. I only have bark. And I've been barking, I've been writing, and the fact of the matter is that nothing has changed. And the reason for that is because the OUR reports to the Cabinet Office. It doesn't.
So the Cabinet, who make up the Cabinet, people? The Cabinet member, no them same member you make up the Cabinet. He's a member of the Cabinet, you know. He's a member of the Cabinet. That means when him say make up it report to the Cabinet. If it report to the Cabinet, that means the Prime Minister, the whole of them when the Cabinet knows. Wait till me make a play to that one. Yeah? Yeah, my breaking officer, boy. Yeah, man. Up farm. Right? Them know. So he might tell us the Cabinet. You hear this? Yes. But he's a part of the Cabinet people. So no care when him can't come out of that one, you know. Him lack. Yeah, him toothless. You see? And him tell us him not working. Him might tell us him to pay PR, una pay him taxpayers, pay him the money for nothing at all. He might play defection, but it gets him oneself. Because by playing defection, you know. By come and doing this, you know, what you're doing, you're grabbing, you know. Because him just come show him, just identify himself, Lady J. Him just come identify himself and tell us, yo, I not work for the money much million, you know. The rate of pay and everything, you know. I not work, I not get, we just work and a chat, you know. I do PR. Me no make sense. And that industrial way. Set my get pay and them not do nothing for the money. You understand? See there?
Report to the minister or the ministry or the prime minister. It reports to the Cabinet Office, and therefore there's a firewall between the ministry, the government, and the OUR and JPS.
Yeah, there. Firewall between the ministry, the government, OUR and JPS. What am I saying? That makes no sense. So the Cabinet and the government say we eh? The Cabinet, so them come together and them vote and them change and them do legislative thing and change. See? And you hold him account for this. So right away him threw himself under the bus. And that big mama and that tree and that trailer everywhere. And we just know say him now doing work. And him just tell me say, you know, him what this, them for fire him. And by the way, the Prime Minister should have fired him long time. Them should have fired him. Yeah,
In the meantime, Mr. Vance says he has been meeting with the new president and CEO of JPS, and he is giving him time to improve the service of the light and power company.
The opportunity now to review.
But him give him time to improve the service. Eh? They were worse than Chopper. The Choppers then. Yeah. Yeah, see that?
What has taken place in relation to these bills that have been sent out, and to make a conscious decision as to how we go forward. And
a conscious decision on how we go forward. When I say so, when come to this chat, hey, a PR, Emily them boots him up, and he take the boots up. And so everyone come here in a fire. Cheetah
indicated that to him that in no uncertain terms.
Yeah, man, that's stutter. And it's not a man that stutter, right? Yeah. Indicated. Yeah, they indicated.
Forward. And I've indicated that to him that in no.
You see it? So him take the people them to idiot and write them come boss for themselves. Eh? Him come boss for himself. Him PR stunt that's going to expose.
Uncertain terms. He can either continue with the old JPS.
Yeah, he can either remember, him a dog go back. And I tough him say matter tough now, Him can now go continue with the old JPS. Tough him and say him tough in an hour.
Or he can come in and revolutionize the JPS and how they think and how.
Or he can come in and revolutionize the JPS and how them think. Hear this. Mr. Minister, I back for you. And when I say that make no sense. Eh? People pocket that suffer right now. Because JPS tell them from June, it's there. Them write them and tell them to them how use back diesel. Because the natural gas them can't deal with it. And this is where them get. But people them at Jamaica, me not someone want to talk to me right now because the amount of bill they send me. Them are cost, So when you want to pray, say I pray for the people them brain, say I do PR and him go mash up himself. See that?
How they treat their customers.
See it? Oh, they treat their customers. Can you imagine? A cabinet and government minister. I come and talk like him at the opposition. Eh? Remember them can do a legislative thing, them can just tape and every boss and every tape and do anything. Tomorrow. I'm at a them should have do it from oldest come and say I'm gonna do it. That's 8+ years ago. Nearly 9 years. Him not do nothing. Him say now make everything cheaper. Him gonna do everything. Him. I'm at a fact him make a commitment. Yeah. See? Yeah, him said 200 million concession, yes. Him said, yeah man. Cheetah, man Senate, Cheetah. All right, Cheetah, Virginia Senator. And him running at the paper when me I play it. So I have to show about your light bill, him get 300 million. 300 million, JPS I collect more than that. Yes, you understand? I don't me I tell them man, them run out pandis, them for knock him pandis. We not play with them. The politics in same I play, in that try, yeah. They not try win over the customer like people are idiot. And them are the government. Them are the government. Some of you said, we can't allow him for trick people, yes, sir. Eh? Them lack of direction and fortitude. Yeah. Yeah, man. A 2-man, Devon Fletcher. You're right. Dog without teeth. Yeah, man. 779, you're right. Yeah, man. What do you mean? That's how you have to do it, man. Yes, sir?
Giovanni Dennis, TVJ News.
In other stories, President-elect...
All right. So hear this now. I'm going to show you something. Oh, my sister now forward it. I'm going to show you something now. Yeah, my sister not forward it. But I'm going to show you something. JPS. Let me see something. More I say, oh, you are. Let me see something else. More I say, oh, you are. Oh, you are can't do nothing about this, you know. In can't treat nobody boy again, you know. Let me tell you this. You see the days when them could have come and trick people. You see the days when them could have come and trick people and say them foolishness. You know, so we not work with that again. We're done with that, right? We don't know that, right? Yes. So we don't know, we just make them all right. The best way to deal with people, you know, because you have liars and all kind of things. And anybody can say anything, but you know, you can, yeah man, you make them, yeah man, incriminate themselves first and then you deal with them case. Yes. Because it's not a situation where you just first and just run out and say, boom, make sure you think them right. May I say, because you're a mash up yourself. Yes. You understand? And you can't write back. When people start look through your whole thing and say, oh, you lie at this and you lie at this, and then not where you come with. You know, them they're rubbish. You rubbish them. This are like them now. False. Because when I try to throw JPS under the bus and oh you are and then tell you say and then come tell you the truth, say, hey, me not work, you know. Me tell me back. Me not do no work. Me just collect some money, me not do no work while I in my pocket. Go back and chat. You remember when the taxi, you remember the other day? When the taxi man, when them said them find the skeleton remain of the teacher, I didn't see me, right? Remember when though? Immediately. I remember in the station, them draw, them do not. Remember you have the app them are work, you know. You know, them app they like what them call it, the driving app them app there. Them are work, right? So people can use it. What them call them? Yeah, but them call the app them where you call for taxi again, man. Uber. And you have a next one down there, right? And then come out, immediate, and I straight work. This is how I love jump the gun and talk. Immediately. Eh? Uber, yeah. In drive and Uber. Yeah. Yeah. Lip right. Okay. Uber and in, okay. See? So come out and chat tough. But when said couldn't do nothing at all. I just, you know, remember now, one person. And that happen all the time. You don't know who anything can happen. Plane a fly people and plane a drop, you know. You have people on earth now. Them not take no plane right now, like why a plane dropped the other day. You don't know, say, I have a question on a plane, you know. That's why Mama Angela say, yo, she tired of plane and right now, I ship my one take and them I look for the water to rough and me I say because Mama said she tired of plane now, you have to just a bill and I say January. Yeah, because we get something but sometimes a jerk. You know them way there? It's a drop, you know. But pray and you a drop with them, you just want to go about your business and do everything about it, but plane still like a drop, it like a crash same way. Car and them things they still like a crash. Long as it depends, you know it's still like a go on for just go through. See? But the man know them just run out and them want, you know, going at people and, you know, like them perfect and them are do something but yesterday them fling himself under the bus. Let us show you something with JPS. Look on this.
My tour on Wednesday with representatives of the JPS, Digital and Flow to the worst affected areas in Clarendon, Manchester, St. Elizabeth. I was shaken to my core. I was emotionally distressed.
So you see who, all right, so as I said before, him bring Uber and everything, nothing to do to them, you know. But this is how I'm back. This is how I'm back. Because you know, it's the same like I find the one lady there, other things happen, plane a crash, you know, you find the next taxi man commit a rape or kill a next. But you know, stop everything because of that. And you just run and just say and just make a big ball, woo, pay foolishness. Look on this now. Remember, you know, him shaking to him core. I know people that get back lights. I know. You got 2 months now. By next week. And I don't know people still not get back light. Look on this now. He might fly up and down. And hear him. Hear this.
After my tour on Wednesday with representatives of the JPS, Digital and Flow.
JPS, Digital and Flow. Now hear this? I know him at JPS under the bus. Hear this.
To the worst affected areas in Clarendon, Manchester, St. Elizabeth. I was shaken to my core. I was emotionally distressed to see the conditions.
What you should do? False. Where J. Lewis has the own place to type. Me no know. I look for me just I go and play J. Lewis. See, I'm checking to my core. Most of the distress, you should have most of the distress right now. Yeah.
Of persons in the aftermath of burial. So I'm happy that we are able to make some significant inroads into the repairs.
And by the way, they never make nothing in the repairing and never even start. And I'm happy. Him use any word will come out of him mouth. See, there's some system where this is a joke. Yeah? This is all play with the customer them who suffer. Yeah? Continue.
Been significant work done between my visit on Wednesday and now.
And that was a lie, people. It was a lie.
What I'm pushing for is to move away from the percentages. So when JPS says that they are 95 or 96%, or they have restored 96 to 97% of the island's electricity, that doesn't give a sense of.
All right, these people, this is what I'm trying to put JPS under the bus, you know. Because before him do that, let me just go back and back up a little bit. This is after we come out and we chat to him, he revise where must because he come talk to me and I talk to me big time, you know. I'm going to show you, hey, people at Jamaica have a stand up phone, you know. We have a real advice in unison in New York, the 30th. Next Friday coming. Yes. The one, the Defense Legal Fund and the whole team raised an advice in unison. Let me show you something. This, after him said this. This way I talk about after him said this. Look here. Let me show you something. Him did come out with this. Let me show you where I put it. Him come out and said 96%. And after we talk about him say 96%, I'm taking him and him go around and tell the world everybody who go on the place. Be a garbage man talk. Garbage up a garbage. After we rush him about it, and the people them start block up road, him come back in a helicopter. Can they fly in a helicopter before, you know? They fly in a helicopter before. But him come back and want to blame JPS. And so when them say, remember him tell me so. I him tell me so. When them say 96%. So when him start though, him do a blame game. Remember my dog, he won't go back, you know. He won't go back. Right? So I'm a blame game, I'm draw the 96%. 96%. Right? So him a draw the blame game then now. If you say I do something, now work for me. Now work on you. We are holding him accountable. Right? We have to hold him accountable because in turn, the man said 96%. When they right after see me, huh? Not my word. Look here. Now come move this sticker. See that? We don't make him do a blame game about that. When you see this, what it say? When you see him name there, update excluding St. Elizabeth, 96% of JPS customers have been restored with electricity, leaving some 26,000 customers awaiting restoration. Approximately 32,000 customers in St. Elizabeth are still await electricity. And that was a lie. That was a blatant lie. People are suffering now and then big light bill and everything. See? So when we talk, then they run out with this. You come run out with this now. So I'm come and we run out with this. I'm dangerous, you know, as I said before, I'm very dangerous. So we talk, and this is how I'm run out with. Look at
Distress that actually makes the numbers look good.
Yeah, 96. Him start cut against them now. Him check him to him court after him give we the word and him tell you where I tell me. Now him come back and him do something like this and then start show JPS. Listen to me, let me tell you this. You cannot fire upon down with JPS and everybody, and then all of a sudden, when the people them under the thing under pressure, after they come tell me lie, then you fling the people them under bus. We can't trust you. Hey, let me tell you this. That's why you see needs a man with us like number wilderness. Because him and JPS can go and him give you as a minister, tell you where you want here. And when the people them come out and like me, because the people them are saying things to where I try. Beat it till them again. Then them come out now and them fling JPS under the bus. In dangerous. See that?
6%. Or they have restored 96% of the island's electricity. That doesn't give a sense of distress. That actually makes the numbers look good.
Yeah. So if you acted right, then you get 96, 97%. Then that 3% are easy thing for a conquer. Then him did come back and him all carry linesman from in a Central America and some other little place. That no make no sense Cayman and all about. That make any sense to you? If you take a quick time and fix up the rest of things, them like what them did say, you never leave no linesman. None at all. That no make no sense to me. None whatsoever. See? But this is all them lie around here. This is all them lie around here. I know people are feeling it. If when JPS talk to them in a June and send the letter, if them just do a press brief and make the people them say, listen to me, in a July when I have a brief to myself because JPS have a drawback for diesel. So when the light bill will go up because JPS notify us, we'll try to do everything to cushion it or something. But talk to the people them and be fair. Be fair. Don't do this. Yeah? I'll be a party man. And then no. But when that tried to swing JPS and the bus and think everybody will listen to him. I mean, Emily with it. Now,
which is good. But the bottom line is that there's thousands of persons across Jamaica that still don't have light. So
yeah, after a matter of fact, him did come and condemn these people. So the people them come and demonstrate and show them say this and that, you know. See it? Yeah.
What I want to do this week is to stress to JPS the need to restore the rest of the island in parallel with the worst affected areas while we wait on those to come back. But there's too many pockets across Jamaica outside of the worst affected areas that still don't have light at this time. JPS is telling me a few days for the rest of the country, but the truth is that 10 days have gone after 2 days for assessment, and therefore we are now in the crisis situation as it relates to the restoration of light and, of course, the water situation. Living without light and water for more than 7 days is a crisis. So I want...
Yeah, the government know this, but they don't still keep the people in a crisis nearly 2 months now. He says a crisis. And if them can imagine if they do like Gilbert, going over Jamaica like that and we get a real impact. Where happened to it? Eh? Almost business, all right. You just, this is what we are talking about now. You can talk about that too. People of Jamaica want to be attacked for now, right? Can you imagine now you have a little corner shop. Can them say corner shop? And you have your meat and you have your little thing them in there. The whole of that gone, you know. Everything we are putting in a fridge and in your deep freeze. Then they're gone. All know you still not get back no light. And then you have the water for wash out all them raw meat and them sitting there. All your things stink up. What you do now? No policy or stuff. What you do now? But Andrea, when them want to say them a meet, it's a meet that we not go there so with them, you know. We not go there so with them. You understand? And then a minister of people. More want to not put it in the chat, you know. Don't a minister you should get fired if you are in a real democracy. Don't if this is England or somewhere else, don't in the very side them that fire him already. Don't them that fire him for do all of this already. And I wanna believe him, the Prime Minister should have fired him, believe him at this portfolio. Wanna put it in a time forget fire, man. Sub-Zero forget fired, man. Yeah. Fire him. Yeah, man, him forget fired, man. Yeah, man. Make him read it, man, him forget fired. Because when I try to do shit there, immediately. If anywhere else, after me know so Andrew, you know run the thing properly, you know. Him should get fired. Yes. And then him tell us him now work, him say my dog, him does a back. Him say my dog. Him say just pay a big back, but him can't bite. Him tell you. See? It's a long time him not qualified to be a minister. Yeah. No man, him should get fired long time, man. See? No, this not bad, man. Let me talk to somebody where I go under this right now because we have to make this all about them, you know, because we see the people them are bad for them light bill. And if the government is really honest, yeah, all right, see there, see get a poll step up here, you know, that way. Yeah. Yeah, man. See get a poll there. See that sit around them say if you go on, if you step down, man. Yeah. Yeah, man. And himself too. Make a lot of promise. Yeah. Banky. See there? Them get the name, you know. Them get the name. Yes. Let me talk to Patrick. I mean, because people are suffering right now. This government, and I say deal with things. These are them live listening. Without them like and school are open back people. You have to think, hey, let me tell you something this bad, you know. Hey, Patrick, how you doing? Yes, man. Yeah, man, how you doing, man? Right now, we have to stand up for the people. Them, you see that town hall, and now we have to talk to the people, talk for the people, them, you know, because they have suffered a long time, light and water, you know. From the 3rd of July, you know. And then, light bill gone sky, you know, right? Yes, man. So, tell me something. The government, they come out and say anything. See that? My light bill. So, people are put up my light bill, fast, look on this. See, people them have rebel against you, you know, around here, so, you know. See them say, see, people have rebel against you, you know. Oh, brother. Yes, man. Yes? You're right there. Your people have rebel against fast around here, you know. They can never touch it and make rat hear it again, you know. You understand? Yes. So you know, oh, you think, hey, what?
Medea. Sorry for the
yeah, man.
data attendance. No, there's a lot of things that have gone. We want to remind the people about the protest constantly from this Friday. But again, good night, everybody. Sorry I'm late. I mean, man, I slept through my program last night. I didn't even get up to the program last night.
That's nice, man. Because they can't step to your program. What you talk about, man?
No, man, I sleep like a baby, man. Yeah. But other than that, right? What I do is I like for hold on. Yes, OT, J Lois, yeah, man. More big up. Don't some more big up all the people who text me, who call me, and who email me. Florence, mate. It's a Florence, they look like me already.
Yeah. When I'm up here, you see, no.
We got to something. But
listen,
Catherine, yeah, John Crow, yeah. Oh, Ken said, can't hear my mic. You can't hear me now? You can't hear me.
Come here.
Can't hear me. Yeah, hold on. How about now? Can't hear me now, right?
You might hear me.
Okay. Yeah. Janet's so cool like a father's so cool like a cucumber. Janet. Yeah. Yeah, big up on yourself. Nothing but my conscience. Yes, OT. See that? But you want to know something. So get back to family members in the chat. But you know, you know, God works in mysterious ways. Nobody says that God works in mysterious ways is wonders to perform, and it's true because I can't begin to tell you how much phone call I get, how much text messages I get, and then you know, in the email, a lot of people wrote in the email and expressed them support and thanks and all of that stuff, and you know, encouragement, and we all need that, you know, we all need that. But here, I just want to let the people know that don't forget this Friday, August 30th, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. will be on 41st Street and 2nd Avenue in Manhattan. Second protest in New York. Please come out and show your support. I mentioned it again several times before. Oh, Master said, my volume low. Oh, God.
So not sound too bad now, man. I hear you. Master, might make you go spoil the mic, we can't hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. All right. So here's what happened between last night and today. A bunch of things happened. Bunch of supporters, ambassadors calling and say, listen, we want to support the thing, and here are some things that we're planning. Some of these things were actually in the works already. The protest, of course, is Friday, but then we have a human rights complaint. You know about that, you know, where we are working on a human rights complaint, which will be submitted to an international human rights organization regarding human rights violations in Jamaica. And then also that's tied in with a Magnitsky complaint to the government, to the US government. So the first one is going to an international organization, and the second one, which will take some of the information from the first complaint and tie it into the Magnitsky. So we're going to be working on that, and we have some dedicated ambassadors ready, willing, waiting right now for us to just drop the hammer. So we'll be working on that, folks. Second thing is that we're working on a conference in New York, and that's in the spring of 2025, where we're going to get a whole bunch of speakers, relevant and dynamic speakers, to talk about the things going on in Jamaica, talk about solutions, and you know how we're going to coalesce as a people and deal with the issues. The third one is this is in the summer of 2025. We're having a free family fun day, and the person who's organizing it says it's OJLDF, One Jamaica Legal Defense Foundation Family Fun Day, and it's entitled Peace, Love, and Unity in the Community. And it's a gathering in a park. They're gonna have live entertainment, vendors. There'll be activities for kids, and it's all free. It's all free. Then after that, there's going to be a gathering at the UN, and we're going to do this in solidarity with others seeking, you know, to promote world peace, and also those seeking to shine the spotlight on corruption. So that's very relevant. And then in the fall of next year, we're going to have a dinner dance, and which will also be a fundraiser. And they're looking at a couple more things. So I have to say to them, say, no man, we can't spread myself too thin, because we have responsibilities at home, we have professional responsibilities. Plus we need time for myself too, you know. So but these are the things that we are working on right now as we speak. The human rights complaint is being worked on. The conference in New York is being worked on. The family fun day is being worked on. The gathering at the UN, we're still fleshing that out. And the dinner dance, they're looking at a location right now, because that is scheduled for about a year from now. So a bit more than a year from now. So that is like on the back burner.
It's nice now. Dinner and dance. Lovely. Yeah, man, a nice thing, man. Never. But organize
it. So all of those things we have planned and set out. So we're not wasting time, you know. We're focusing on holding government accountable as we should. So that's where we are. And of course, you know, we'll have the weekly town hall meetings, and we'll have my weekly show as well. And so we'll just keep burning the fire. We'll keep highlighting things and informing people. And as you know, things will come up. So maybe a lawsuit or two will come up. Maybe we will rejuvenate a lawsuit that we had for the Prime Minister. Maybe we'll look at that again, you know. We'll dust it off and see if we can move forward with that. But yes, people, we're not around here, as Richard was saying, no distractions. We have a whole bunch of things planned, and we're looking forward to it. But the first thing is this Friday. This Friday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. At the corner of 41st Street and 2nd Avenue in Manhattan, right across the street from the Jamaican consulate. We're going to be having our second protest against crime, corruption, healthcare, education. You know the list. So make it a date and don't be late.
What's the list?
Jamaicans should raise their voice in concert.
One Jamaica Legal Defense Foundation invites all Jamaicans and friends of Jamaica to raise our voices in protest against corruption, crime, poverty, failed health care, poor education, and more injustice taking place in Jamaica. This takes place on Friday, August the 30th, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And this takes place at the Jamaican Consulate at the corner of East 41st Street and 2nd Avenue in Manhattan, New York. Remember, all Jamaicans and all friends of Jamaica, come and raise your voices in protest against all injustices taking place in Jamaica. Let's all come out in support to make Jamaica a better place.
Oh, yeah,
man. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, man. Love the promo, you know. People call me and say they love the promo, you know. And want to big up, but I don't want to call her name, but young lady who did a promo, she did one last time and did one this time. Just get well soon, because I know she's a little bit under the weather. But yeah, so that's where we are. I'm excited. I'm telling you, I'm excited because when the people call me, I said, when the people call me, I said, listen, we're going forward. And here, you know, and like I said, some people step up and say, listen, these are the things, here are some of the things that we are planning to work with you. And we're bringing supporters, we're bringing donors along. So just put your blinders on and just roll up your sleeve, because, you know, or keep your sleeves rolled up, because this is where we're going. We're not going here, we're not going there, we're not looking back. We're going just like that, straight ahead.
This is a trailer drive, right? And no review.
No review, and no side.
No side then. You know, that's the no side, no review. So, you know, you have to move out of you know, drive and not play. Nothing. Yeah. Okay, you know, the step on the back of the trailer, they say, you know, the whole trailer thing there, you know. Yes, so you can't stay around there, you know. I don't have no side, nothing, so you can't look, so you have to move. Yeah, man.
Yeah, like Master said, full speed ahead, you know.
Okay, this now, the people in my ball for the light and me go play back something, I just play it and dissect it, but me make it eat for yourself. Yeah. So the minister run out, which are Darrell Falls, him run out and him said something, but him threw himself under the bus. The man said, him tell me, remember them get rate up here the other day, right? Them get rate up. And then in Ghana over 16 million per year now, over that, right? Yes. As a minister. And you know, so the red said, now work. Out time one mouth rat to the man say, him won't go back. Him no buy it.
Never see it.
Never play it. Because when I try this show, the thing under the bus, and him talk one bag of thing and him throw the whole government under the bus. Because him attack JPS. And him talk the truth, that's because really are barking, and I'm not teeth.
Yeah, Mark Malabva.
According to JPS, is twice as expensive as LNG.
Play it back. Listen this. And by the way, Ratty,
many of you would also remember
the minister's head office in St. Andrew this morning, Kalisha Williams.
Why you hear this now? Because we're going to dissect it again, you know. And you hear the minister, him attack him and got spend money again now to do audit. But tell me what JPS tell them from June. According to JPS, so listen, the LNG, we're going to change it back to diesel, you know. Because them can't get LNG, you know. My link on the gum, so them can't get it. So they have to change it back to that, right? So the price double. So your light bill are double or more. You understand? To what them are use, everything more expensive. You know, so them not tell the people them nothing. And them want to blame JPS. Hear this. I want to spend money. It's not going to work around here. If them try this, we have to stop them. This is foolishness. Listen here.
Was there.
Thank you. So the press conference ended a few minutes ago, and I will start with the action the government will be taking. So many of you may be aware that a lot of JPS customers saw a drastic increase in their July bills. Some saw as much as 100% increase in their bills for July after the passage of Hurricane Beryl. Well, Energy Minister Darrell Vass said a few moments ago that the government will be launching a special audit into the increase in the July bills for JPS customers. I know many of you would also remember that JPS had explained that the reason for the increase in the JPS bills for July was due to fuel charges, because they had to switch from liquefied natural gas, LNG, to automotive fuel, diesel fuel, ADO, in preparation for Hurricane Beryl. And ADO, according to JPS, is twice as expensive as LNG. And they wrote to the Finance Ministry expressing those concerns that customers would see an increase because they had to switch to ADO. Well,
so let me stop it there, so. Liar. I'm a draw for the liar now, you know. I'm a draw for Ratty now, my brother, but, you know, brother from a different dad. Yes. I remember my brother said speed, right? Yes. All right. So, I'm a draw for the liar now, Ratty. The liar. Your JPS say also. Them write to the Finance Ministry, and tell them about, you know, them have to switch back to diesel. And it twice the amount of money for them that pay for the natural gas. So them are have an increase. So why is it now I'm gonna do special audit and spend maybe a 2 or 3 or $5 billion? You know, so wait for time that to find out why JPS raise, why the bill gone up. But them tell we already. This makes any sense to you?
No, it doesn't make sense because they're on notice. They're on notice that there will be an increase. And what they should have done at that point is, if they're going to have an inquiry, they should have had it when the notification was made, to say, tell us why is it that, give us the basis for switching from LNG to diesel. Because you move from diesel to LNG, presumably because it's cheaper, cleaner, and now you're switching, you're going back to diesel. But tell us why. So at the moment when that notification was made, that was the time to ask questions. I mean, now you still can ask questions, but it's kind of late in the game. So
when you say about the where that's about this special audit, now where's some money this? Because we know what them are saying. I them friend them and get some money better.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you're going to do an audit, actually it should have been an inquiry. It should be, okay, you want to switch. Why do you want to switch? Tell us, because you switched already and we accepted the reason for the switch. Now you have to tell us why. Testing. So they have to tell us why. They have to tell us why they switch. And also how is it going to be beneficial for the Jamaican public? That's one of the first things. But here's the thing. Keep in mind that it's a public-private partnership.
Mm-hmm.
And the investors are looking for a return. So they could care less about how it's going to benefit the public versus how it's going to benefit them. So if it means more money in their pocket, that's what they're going to go with. They're not going to lose. Nobody invests to lose. Invest to make a profit. So what should have happened when the announcement was made, that's when they should have had the inquiry. So they wouldn't need an audit. They wouldn't need an audit, because right there you would know, okay, this is why they're doing it. This is why they're doing a second switch. And does it make sense or doesn't make sense? And then that's when the parties could come together and come to a resolution. But then for them to notify, and then you don't say anything, and then now the bill jump up and now you say, oh, I'm going to do an audit to figure out why this, but it's, as we say, it's ass backwards. It's like you're doing things backwards, and at the end of the day, you said to yourself, who's benefiting and who's losing? Who's losing? The Jamaican public.
Yes.
Who's benefiting? The investors and the government.
And then you remember them when they take the raise up here, the 300%. 200% to 300%. Then they do something on it where we spend over $1 billion, right? For 2 look of paper. And then them forget to pay. That don't make no sense. So more the special audit and then they get the auditing firm where they them own.
The job description for the ministers of government and the job description for parliamentarians that cost I've heard numbers way up there like over $1 billion Jamaican dollars.
Over 1.5, somewhere around that.
Yeah.
But that's a waste of money. Feed like 3, like 6 leaf, couple leaf.
Yeah, it's not. I have one right. I have one of them right here next to me, and it's I have both reports, but this one is 9 pages, and I think the other one is like 10.
People, that one boy Betty, them never call man, because we write the page apart. We call our man just say, yo, let me just write the page. I mean, we could have given them even Betty, give them even a 20 page to make it look so bad. If you back it up, you give them maybe 100, kind of make it look so bad, you know. 9 pages to 1 point at billion.
Yeah, but about 20 pages to 1 point something. And you know, when you read it, right? When you read it, it's nothing magical. It's normal. It's average language, you know, and stuff that you could have gotten off the internet. But you know. Yeah, but like Ivan says, no audit is necessary. They already know why the electricity rate is so high. They already know.
Well, you are right here with him say no, with him one mouth, both himself. Continue.
Mr. Vaz also indicated that JPS applied for and got a 91% concession, which worked out to be about over $350 million, which would reduce the burden on customers. Mr. Vaz also indicated that based on his conversation with Petrojam, customers should only have seen a 6% increase in their bill. So he's rejecting the claims by...
You can't have a conversation with Petrojam because the Petrojam get a barrel of oil. Right? Remember them have, if you get a barrel of oil for like $76, maybe somewhere around $80. Then you remember you have oil refinery, you have to deal with that too. And it comes with a cost and everything. So when JPS get it, you know, you can't go talk to Petrojam and Petrojam is not JPS. So you can't say, oh, me talk to Petrojam, so JPS supposed to. That's a foolishness, garbage. A JPS. Petrojam, them buy the oil from them, but to talk to Petrojam. Petrojam can't do nothing but recover their money, you know, and recover what them recover, you know. You understand? If it go bankrupt too, so it must make no sense. Where's the brother?
So what, you know, it would make more sense to me, if the government would have spoken to both Petrojam and JPS, because the government has an interest in both entities. So it would make sense then to say, all right, I could talk to Petrojam, see how much they pay for a barrel of oil, see how much what the refining costs are, see how much them sell it to JPS, and so you get a wide view of the chain from purchase to the provision of electricity, and then you can make a really good determination as to what would be a fair price. Even if you can't compel them to do it, but at least you can make the public aware of it, and that is the problem. You know that, hey sis, big up yourself. We still a drive through Clarendon, you know, full speed ahead.
No, don't stop at all. You can only do flyover. Greetings, my brother. Greetings. Yes. Apologies. I expected someone and they came and, you know, so I had to take care of it. But got my full attention.
No worries. So, Leighton, I hope you can hear me now. So that is what I'm saying also, that they should have had discussions with both entities and try and figure out a fair price so that you could pass the costs on to the consumers. Now, they say that they give them a concession and the increase should be no more than 6%. So what happened to that?
Yeah. Who did I call me then? I'm just answer that phone, Jeff. Yeah, Jeffrey. Yeah. Live? Oh, Jeffrey. Yeah, man. All right, cool. Right here. Jeffrey has to fix the audio,
Yeah.
Yes.
Big up. Jeffrey T.
All right, turn up. All right,
Must respect Jeffrey.
Yes, sir. You know, we want your Darrell Vaz himself. I tell you, say, him no work, him not do no work at all, keep him on go back. You know, I believe that him do this.
The JPS that the reason behind the increase was due to increase in fuel charges. Now, I'll have more updates on this story in primetime news at 7.
Thanks, Kalisha. Now, more news from the energy sector. Despite its announcement of a probe into billing practices of the JPS, the Office of Utilities Regulation, OUR, continues to face criticisms from the Energy Minister. Darrell Vaz says the OUR's performance in protecting JPS customers has been a disaster. Giovanni Dennis has this TVJ News follow-up.
Since taking charge of the energy portfolio, Darrell Vaz believes regulator, the Office of Utilities Regulation, OUR, has inspired little confidence.
Based on my experience in Beryl, and I can only speak for myself as minister personally, yes, the OUR has been absolutely a disaster in protecting the customers of the JPS in this Beryl saga.
Mr. Vaz is taking issue with the tone of the OUR's response to concern he raised with the entity regarding protection of vulnerable customers struggling since Beryl.
Their statements are very clear that after the recovery and the restoration is when they will do their deep dive and come up with whether or not there is need for regulatory change, legislative change.
About deep one. If you're still in a tub, you drown or deep dive. You can die better. You don't have water by your foot. But deep dive.
Or any sanctions that will be imposed on JPS. That alone tells the whole story. So who is protecting the people?
Mr. Vaz says despite...
And the government are talking about who is protecting the people. You see what I'm doing? Bring all you are under the bus and thing, but you're not bringing more self under the bus now. You this is not this time, brother.
His outcries and appeals, he feels toothless.
No bite. I only have bark. And I've been barking, I've been...
This very night in a town hall, you know, I have to take out this strategy. The man admits, say, listen, him attack me, him say, no, I have no bite, you know. I go back. And I mean, so say, no, not my word. You hear this, Maria? Never play him back again. Me prepare where myself, I have to forward this and talk about nothing. Yeah.
Change or any sanctions that will be imposed on JPS. That alone tells the whole story. So who is protecting the people?
Mr. Vaz says despite his outcries and appeals, he feels toothless.
No bite. I only have bark. And I've been barking, I've been writing, and the fact of the matter is that nothing has changed. And the reason for that is because the OUR reports to Cabinet Office. It doesn't.
So, but in the member of the Cabinet, what must make sense? So, if they report to Cabinet, report to him, same way, the Cabinet, and the Cabinet, the legislation, them and the legislators, same way. So, what am I saying? Kind of tear up and mash up everything. But, here what we have to do 300%, Ratty. Yeah. 300%, right?
Yeah.
Yes. 300%. I might then, I don't know if it turn, you have a part of my front and part of turn back. Look on the mic, start and look on it.
No, man.
Back and front. Just turn the front. My front, yes.
Right, I said for that.
I am, man, because
my check.
I do that. Because I turn it wrong. Me show you. It's my mic there.
No, my mic good, man.
All right, good. You're good now. Yeah, man. Good. All right. So your rent said about it. Him say man got back, him nah no teeth. Yeah, Maria. So the money where him get him to get back then, man. I them should have fire him and move him. Can not work. And I mean so him just say so, you know. Yeah,
exactly. But you know, isn't it the duty of the parliament to craft legislation to hold corporate Jamaica accountable? So if you have an agency, he says it's in the cabinet, which means sounds like it's in the prime minister's office because everything is in the prime minister's office, you know. So if he has an issue with them not performing, not living up to their responsibility, then he can go to Parliament, craft some legislation. They have been ramming things through Parliament anyway, so he can go to Parliament, air his grievances there, and come up with a workable outline, a workable policy that can work for the OUR, the JPS, the government, and the people of Jamaica. So I don't see how it is that he's complaining when he's a minister, so he has a lot of power. He sits in parliament. So I don't see how the Office of Utility Regulation is outside of the scope of the minister to do something about getting some answers from them on behalf of the Jamaican people. So he's not making any sense to me on this particular issue.
Ratty.
Maria's right. He's a member of parliament. Not only is he a member of parliament, he's an influential member of parliament. And he's also an insider. He's a member of the cabinet, and he carries a lot of weight in that body, in all those bodies. And if you cannot get legislation to do what you want to do, I'm almost sure that you could get an executive declaration. You could probably get the prime minister to issue like some temporary policy regarding this, because they always have they have emergency provisions and this would be burial, right? Where they say, okay, we're going to suspend some of the normal procedures because of burial, and they could do that and do that as a workaround and get to the solution. So, I'm kind of puzzled as to why. Minister Vaz is he has bark but no bite, because the Minister Vaz I know, he has a lot of bite, and I mean when I say bite, not people bite him up, but he has a lot of bite in the sense that when he talks, people listen. He has a very commanding presence. When I say commanding, he's not a big person, but when he speaks, his tone, his tenor. They give you the impression that he knows what he's talking about. He's very forceful when he wants.
But that at the back, him tell it say it don't really mean nothing, that him forceful and you hear some dog I have treat, but you never know say none teeth, So to him expose himself. Him expose himself. He say what?
But you know what? Sometimes, right? These people, they don't have the benefit of being in a comfortable position, because this is a very uncomfortable position to sit in, where they have a hurricane. They said before the hurricane came that they were more prepared than ever for hurricane.
Thank you.
And then the hurricane come out, find how unprepared they are, and it's a very awkward and uncomfortable position for him to address. So sometimes you find that the words don't come out the way they should, because I'm telling you, I mean, I know him, and I'm telling you that when I say I know him, I'm not intimately connected to him, but I've met him, and this is not the person that I met. The person that I met didn't struggle or hesitate to come up with words to describe the situation, and so for him to say this, I guess it's a very uncomfortable position, because he's placed where, between a rock and a hard place. But it's rather easy if you know who he is. If you don't know him and you think he's a backbencher, when I say backbencher, he's one of the least influential persons, then you would say, okay, I understand. But this man carries a lot of weight, a lot of power. In fact, I'll tell you something. The GLP party, without him, is nowhere where it is. He is the principal fundraiser. Anybody will tell you this. He's the principal fundraiser for the party. I mean, this man knows how to raise money for the party. And I'm not talking about chopping either. I'm talking about legitimately raise money. He knows how to raise money. And if he should step aside, believe me, there'll be some serious problems. So I'm kind of surprised that he would say he has bark but no bite. And I know we all laugh, but I find it kind of peculiar. I find it kind of curious that he would choose
time him can raise the funds, no problem. And then spend the funds. But the work what we put in, him really about because him not about it. And then he matter about legislative and then at them and the legislator. So we must say it make no sense. Eh?
But isn't this part of a bigger conversation though?
No, keep it
no, sorry, right there. Yes. I was asking if isn't this part of a bigger conversation because this is about the cost of fuel, the changing cost of fuel going from natural gas to back to diesel. How I wonder when they had the deal with Venezuela, how that impacted the price of gas. And if they still had that deal, I wonder if it would have made a difference in this situation right now.
Ratty. Can you hear me, Ratty? You hear me?
Just no, I didn't hear it before. I wasn't hearing you.
Oh, yeah, you know. All right. Yeah, man, you're good, man. But I touch up with the mic, you know, because people not hear you. So maybe it's not
somebody was saying that they didn't hear me, but they couldn't hear me.
You know what? And they will not hear none at all, you know? Yes. So as me I say now, but Bars have played a superhero thing they like him I say, but I mean for the people, you know, the government, you know, the people are doing things that we are the government, you know. But remember this, I remind them something. Remind them something and then I play along and I will finish it. But hear this from Andrew himself. 2015-16. Hear this.
The Labour Party will make sure that we put in place more efficient electricity generating plants to bring down the cost of electricity to you. I don't like to make promise. I make commitment. And under the Labour Party government, we are going to ensure that we bring to this country the big power plants. We are going to ensure that we bring to this country the big energy companies that can put the money in here to build the plants to give you cheaper and better electricity.
So we're not supposed to hear nothing else from them now and what them answer because as I said before, the hurricane blow. Remember everything they left. Remember we have 900 shelter, we're well ready and we're good. The Prime Minister said himself, remember the Prime Minister play, you know. I know you cannot play with you on, you know. We're not telling no like I want thing we do on here, so we just dissect things and hold them to account. Now, if you get a promise like this, 2015, 2016, I know 2024, I got 2025. We just say no when that's why I say I pay back for you. No right, right? Eh? Wait, that's about this. Remember, it's a commitment. When you're committed to do a thing, the first thing you come, you make sure you start it and finish it, that it's up and running. Not true. We're supposed to pay cheaper electricity. Not my word. The Prime
But
Minister.
while he was in opposition and making those kinds of statements, one would think that they were doing feasibility studies and doing some research as to which, how they could best approach it, which companies they could look to overseas say it's because they're looking to take over government. So now that they have taken over government, clearly they didn't do any research, no homework was done to see how they could get these companies in so that JPS would no longer be a monopoly. So they'll provide competition. And in the absence of competition, that is why the JPS can carry on the way it is right now. And could they have looked into alternative source of energy? Wind farms, what about wind farms? Jamaica have a lot of land. What about solar energy? Jamaica has a lot of sun. So they did not do any, he was only talking, politicizing JPS. And his person is going to come out now and say, don't politicize JPS. But he was the one who politicized it. So now we have to talk about it in this manner. So he did not do his homework. So when he took over office, it's just business as usual. And he cannot blame the previous administration because he had years when he was in a position to fix it. Then he took over. It's 8 years now since he has been there. So he has no excuse to not have done something to remedy the electricity problem. And then it goes back to getting rid of the deal with the Venezuelans Was that a big mistake? Could it have made a difference right now?
All right, Ratty, I come in, but Ratty, hear this before you come in, though. Mr. Gigi, remember, he did not say what year the Prime Minister. So, Gigi, let me answer you now, please, and make Ratty come in right now. Ratty, Gigi does say, remember, we just played the Prime Minister a little while when he was in opposition, right? But him said the Prime Minister never said which year. He never said the year because remember the election that I run 2016. I remember one set of election gone already. One term gone already, you know. So remember, you know, when you're going there, you never must be the next term. So even if you do it within that term, a 2-term in depend. So you have no excuse around here. No simple thing that Ratty. If you do it between, you can't say you do it not yet because you never have to win back 2020 when you call. So when you promise something and you promise it within the 100 days where you feel, within the term, you can't go for the next term and come say, but, you know, me still there, you know, but me did promise 2016, but me there still. You never have to win back. So right, that's how you feel. It's simple. So maybe just simplify it for now. So my answer you simple. Yes, my only have to answer the question then if you ask, you know. So right, then it's a failure right there. So him now have nothing to run out pan and say, well, me still a Prime Minister, you know, so me still a got to do it. No, you him fail. Because when you make the first promise as a Prime Minister, remember, you know, don't him swear in as a Prime Minister for the second term. Or him stay from 2016, him not swear in again. Every election where you run, you go swear in back. Remember that, yeah? So it could be someone else. Not you, Ratty and Maria. Not you. So if you fail within that time, you fail. You promise the thing and you feel you don't talk to me and think you promise these things. I'm not fucking promise other things before. And then him come and say, well, it never another manifest there, you know. It's not the first one. And that thing done by the fear stunt. So we're holding with reality around here. And fact checking. Yes, Ratty.
You know, I'm just looking at the meaning of commitment because I'm saying not promise. And it says a commitment is the state, as a noun, it is the state or quality of being dedicated to a cause, activity, etc. Right? And 1 second. And it also an engagement or obligation that restricts freedom of action. So, here it is. A commitment is an agreement or promise.
Thank you, because the commitment is a promise, and that
to do something in the future.
Just this is way I'm trying to flip flop on people. It's a promise.
It's a promise, right? So he said, I don't do promises, I do commitments. Well, the same thing. It's one and the same thing. And that's why it's so important for us to explain these things to our people. The ones who don't understand, for us to explain to them to say, because you know some people remember, my Prime Minister, you know, make promise and commitment. And I say, okay, what does it mean? It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Right? So remember now he made a commitment to the people that he would bring big power plants to Jamaica to decrease the cost of energy. And he would also bring in big energy companies. This was before he was installed as Prime Minister in 2016.
Yes.
So ask yourself the question, as you said, I'm just following up the point you made. Where did he start doing this? Because if a commitment would suggest that you have to start something. You have to start. Where did he start? Where did he start? What we see the opposite, where now they're trying to say, oh, you know, the price of energy is on a runaway train and we have to stop it. It should be the opposite. It should be, okay, we made a commitment, right, which is different than a promise according to them, and we have taken a start and we have switched from diesel to LNG, and it's cheaper, and we're going to make sure that the price doesn't increase for our people, particularly when we have a natural disaster or even a man-made disaster. But whenever we have a disaster, we have to do something about it. Again, people, just think. You don't have to believe what we're saying. Just go pull up your dictionary and look for the word. Look at the word. You saw the screen, you heard the man speak, and then you just measure everything. just think critically. Just don't gobble down everything because somebody told you. And that, I think, is one of our primary duties around here, is to explain these things to our people. We cannot go into the voting booth and hold them fingers and tell them where to cast the vote or whatever. We can't do that, and we won't do that. All we're saying is just think through the issues, and then once you're done, then you can make an informed decision about what your future, your family's future, your community's future, the future of Jamaica should be. That's all we're asking. We're not telling people who to vote for anything like that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying just use your wizzy, as what I say. Use your wizzy, and you'll get there. But this idea, this thing about JPS and electricity costs and what, it's a damn shame. This shouldn't be happening. Shouldn't be happening.
Make I remind them something, brother and sister. In 2007, you have a Bruce Foley came in, and him get vote. Well, him have a step down and Andrew that, and him get vote out in 2011, the last part of 2011. And Portia swear in, and then Portia try to set something down. She get voted out. So if she did promise something, I said she'll clean up something, and she don't get free do it. Where you think it happened? She gone. It's a different prime minister take over. That's why each term, if you come and make a promise to that term, I will see not do it. Like how Andrew go run and cut more ribbon and do all kind of things, and we not see nothing go through, we hold him to account. Because every time an election run, you have to swear with the prime minister to swear in back. And the minister them too. Right? You know, and you know, just roll over and just come back. You have to dissolve the parliament, right? Parliament dissolve. And then when the election run and who win, then you swear in back. The prime minister who everybody comes swearing back. Okay? You might have a different cabinet, depending on who might put on this and everything. So, you know, when you make a promise, you must say, no, it's a commitment. Are the same thing, Andrew. Stop. No, man, that's the thing to stop it, man.
That is, you know, that's the same thing.
Okay, no. And M. The R and R and M. So, you know, yeah, man. M and R and R. Yeah. No, we have to tell him the truth. We have to tell him the truth. Right? So, him make him promise, him break them all the time, him not keep nothing. So, I'm see the thing come out, say, you're the promise keeper, you know, we make commitment, we don't make promise.
Yes, because that is true. Because in the local government election, everybody know in the government was coming out, including his wife. We don't make promise, we make commitment. Because remember that she gave a wheelchair to this. I think it was a man or a lady that she gave a wheelchair to, and she was like, "See, I don't make promise, I make a commitment." And I'm like, "But you're just using the words interchangeable. I mean, seriously, you know, you can use them. Nothing wrong with that. But stuff. What it is that they talk down to the Jamaican people, but expecting that there's somebody who is going to explain things for them, because they just assume that Jamaican people are stupid. So it means the same thing. People promise commitment is the same thing, and they're just trying to trick you with the semantics and, you know, using big words and all of that. But that's what it means. They make promise and they're not keeping it. That's all.
You know, the thing is, when you make a promise, right, you may not fulfill the promise. But when you say commitment, it sounds as if you're trying to tell the people that when we say commitment, it means we are going to fulfill it. We are going to do what we say we're going to do. And if that is the case, then every commitment he has made is a promise. Because not every, but a lot of them, because he's failed. He's failed. And so when people get the impression that when a commitment, it's like in Saudi Arabia, a friend of mine, he said that when somebody, they can promise you, like you said to a Saudi, hey, you know, can you move the car from here, something like that, and he'll say, yeah, I'll move the car, and he promised. But he said, when the guy go like this, I rub his finger down his nose, that's a guarantee. That's better than a promise. That means even if not me lose my life to do it, I'll do it. This is not what we're talking about here. This is not what we're talking, like sister. We're talking about the interchangeability of words. You just say promise, you say commitment, because guess what? If you don't fulfill it, at the end of the day, no matter when you call it, you know, it no matter when you call it, if you don't get low electricity bills, you don't get low electricity bills, you're gonna suffer. So no matter if you call it promise or commitment, what you want is lower electricity bills and constant electricity. That's what you want, and that is what you're not getting. So it's neither here nor there. It's fish nor fowl. It don't make a difference. 6 or 1.5 dozen or the other. It make a difference.
It make a difference.
No.
You see, and next thing again now, same like how we talk about the road, because we get some other thing on the road. And we say,
hold on. So, look what Andrea said. Because Mr. Jar said in Saudi Arabia, when the man said, when them go like this, when you say, that means guaranteed. She said, no. Look,
it's just a phone.
So Andrea said,
yeah, talk so like some incredible Hulk and some big hand, right? Some
Hey, your chat no easy, you know, brother.
Yeah, man. We not heard that the runaway at Sangster International Airport collapse.
No, the runway, okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Kingston. When just now? I look it up. Yeah, man. So all of this way the Prime Minister go on, and then by the way, you remember say him politicize everything. Andrew himself got all in a brother. Even crime the other day, him say he must politicize crime. When people talk about, let me remind you something with the crime again. Brother and sister. Let me remind on this. You know, look at this. It's the Andrew again, you know, and nobody else, Andrew.
Leader used his tour to launch an assault on the government's fight against crime. Mr. Holness and opposition MP Desmond McKenzie
launched an assault on the government fighting against crime. Fight against crime. Yeah? Remember the opposition leader this, you know? But when we talk, you say, boy, loan some of PMP, you know? These are the opposition leader himself. These are the opposition leader. He politicized everything. So you must hold him now. You believe him and say, don't politicize crime. Don't politicize the road. Don't politicize JPS. Don't politicize. So that him I use to film defense. No offense. Anything where him use, they give him it and you give him 100-fold, brother. I believe in a Moses law. Me around here. All right? Play this.
in the community today. Andre Jebinson reports.
The man in charge of the security portfolio, Peter Bunting, had a tour on Sunday, and Mr. Bunting, who receives the crime figures daily, insists there is no increase in major crimes. But opposition leader Andrew Holness has his own view on Friday night's shooting in Seaview Gardens.
It is an example of the growing level of criminal activity within Jamaica. Crime is once again rearing its ugly head, and it is really a cause for great concern.
Mr. Holness said the mothers feel let down by the government.
The government has a role to play in this. The government has a duty to secure and provide security for the people of this country.
So when the police are going now and I stop you and say, give me a paper and I'll bad your part, something, I think you say, provide security for the people of the country. Because everybody where from you're not one of the big boys, them take every criminal, you know, that's to stop, you know. Hear this.
And I think in talking to that mother, it was clear to me that she felt that the government had abdicated its role in providing security.
Mr. Holness said the opposition will be holding the government accountable for its role in controlling crime.
We had managed to bring down the murder rate 3 or 4 years ago. Now it is climbing. We are concerned. We are very worried, and our visit here today is to give the people of Seaview Gardens, but Jamaica in general, the assurance that the opposition is speaking out firmly against crime.
Not only that, Mr. Holness wants the entire country to send a message.
All well-thinking Jamaicans should raise their voice in concert against the high levels of crime and against the government in not doing enough in controlling crime.
All right, people, so I'm put this here, so. So this is a man that I see you. And he find himself down the front of the media. And I said the mother and the government let down the mother and everything. Right? And I will think in Jamaica for raise them voice in unity, in concert, together, unity. Against the high level and crime against the government. Now some people they don't get so in a massacre. And I think that's a cousin talk. And then me see the minister, the number 2 in the security ministry at Leadfoot. Mr. I said them play politics with crime. Politics. Remember one person that done this and this are the opposition leader himself. And the other day, I see him make a speech too. I say, the opposition leader say, well, he want to do something and work with the government. He must say, oh, they have to serious because they can play with, and them not serious. No, this, when him in the opposition, this is what I'm doing, not the government. But nobody must knock him, it cannot work. We run after the opposition to where all accountable, sir. I remember, well, this alone, so I'm going to take talk, you know already. Yeah, we're not take talk. So we keep it real on so we have to hold them accountable and change all that run. For too long now, them get rid of that things. And by the way, when I take off Rafi from the other day, Angela, we are talking about him, started to have a declaration. And he said, an idea one that we stop talking about it now. Tell him, say, we not stop. Because we're more concerned over that more than anything else right now.
Wait, that will never happen.
Where's the anything will stop? Where's it?
Nah, shut up.
That will never happen.
Minister come in and dance, man.
Yeah. So you hear that? So yeah, she used my chameleon thing, you know. So that will never happen. We not take it off of the table. It need right now. Them need for it need to address it now, man.
You know what happened to why is it's still taking so long for the Integrity Commission to table the report with the parliamentarians on the investigation for illicit enrichment. How about that? We haven't heard anything from them.
Good point, Vatican, and they are going into an election cycle. Right, and they're going into an election cycle.
Sure.
So are they saying to the Jamaican people, don't believe your lying eyes and your lying ears, because the Prime Minister's statutory declarations are yet to be certified. Then 2 more persons were added to the illicit 6, making it illicit 8. And we can firmly say that the Prime Minister must be one of the illicit 8 because he has said that they have a pen pal relationship. So why has he not come out and say to the Jamaican people, give them a reason that they still should be voting for this Jamaica Labour Party government when they cannot be trusted? And this thing about people are, the politicization of things is nonsense, because it's one government at a time. And when he was in opposition, you see who was behind him? Rankin Fedder. When Rankin Fedder was the mayor of KCMC, what did he do down there? He was just busy feathering while the people were in the market, sewer water running all over the place. You understand? So he look at it and he has an administration that is just a bunch of people who pattern themselves off the taxpayers' dollar, do nothing. It's a do nothing government, big spender, do nothing government with least results. Okay, and you're going into an election cycle, and you must say nothing because when you say something, you're being political, and you're a surrogate for a political party. It's garbage. Every striking person is political. Let nobody fool you. So don't come with the nonsense about people are being political. One government at a time. And if we do not choose right now to hold this government accountable, then we would not be doing the job that we're supposed to be doing, because that is what we're called to do right now. We cannot talk about the public purse from 2012 to 2015. We have to talk about the public purse right now, because that's 8 years of one administration handling the public purse. How have they been handling it? That is what we're talking about. And who don't like it? Next. But that is what we have to talk about right now.
All right, let me show you that thing. I mean, I got something. What I make you look up a quick thing for me. All right, them thing then come in fast. You know, let me do it. Make you can see it quick. Let me show you now the thing. All right, let me see me can. All right, see that.
Hmm.
4 hours ago. So you see what it say? Temporary runaway closure, Sangster International Airport. See it? Yeah. You know, we talk about the thing we like, see them, you know. Do something for me. Look up the mutual, when the feelings mutual, because I got to say something to them, you know, maybe see somebody that's right and say, your teacher that and that, but hear this now. Remember Mercedes, when I come produce a lot of song with Mercedes, remember album I'm not put out to them yet. But she just passed after like about 2 years now, you know, put out them there yet. You know, I have something I'm not put out yet. And the tune tell itself, you know, who not like me, the feelings mutual. From me to them. Yes. Look up tell them that mutual feelings of mutual. The mutual, yes. So you know the meaning of mutual for me, please and thanks. So who not like knowing some of the feelings mutual. Yes.
All right. It says, as an adjective, it says of a feeling or action experienced or done by each of 2 or more parties towards the other or others.
Thank you.
And it says, what does if the feeling is mutual, both of you feel the same way.
Thank you. So who not like me, the feelings mutual. And I like me, I say, hey, the feelings mutual. That's believe in Moses law. I'm in a business. Remember me, the man I will learn it. I'm a big friend, you know.
Well, Wayne, you said the feeling is mutual. Well, here what I have to say now. Them no like me, and me no like them. Them and me enemy, me and them no friend.
Yeah.
I'm a new artist, I'm a new artist,
Me know what you doctor right, so boy again, you know. You have my sister sing for me, you know. Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah, man. You see, I just said there, you know. Just said there. As me say, only let me tell you again. You have a government and you have an opposition. Then that say your highness, but them say you're this government and this are opposition. And if the government now do what they might do round there and then be a chopping and be a promise and money and all kind of things that go on all over the place, what you do? What you do? Sit down and play with the government. That's not your promise. So you now ask if you want the government to move. Who want Andrew when this is stay there, so? He might have been $800 million house. We not play a hypocritical role on here. Our duty is to just hold them accountable. And when you see some things and when you look the whole of them in the same shoes, you have to get out the corrupted government. And anybody else come and hold them to account. And people will go to prison. So me not a big friend around here. Me not a big friend around here, man. See? And remember people, I want to show you because me telling us that I want to go now, I'm going right now. Remember Joe Darrell, I'm a super zero. And remember I'm a phenom spandex and him cape, right? Super zero, right? Alright, I want to make show them super zero. Right, I want to make show them super. Can I look super zero? Now put it up and make them see super zero. See me a super zero, man. When I see phenom spandex, man. Hey people, when I say remember the super zero, then we have peer spandex and cape, you know, see him there? On the super zero, you see that not super even super zero, see there? Yeah, man. See him there? Wanna see him? What you say him about the place? Super zero. Super zero. Eh? And a super hero and everything. A super zero. Yeah? Yep, and a super zero, man. Yeah, man. So
You know, when you come out and say these things and say he doesn't have any bark, he only has bark, he doesn't have any bite. Is election talk for when he goes out there on the campaign trail to throw the OU under the bus and to say, no, I was doing my best for you and what that. Not Augusta. People, Jamaican people, the Minister of Energy and whatever he wants to call himself right now, Darrell Falls, he has a lot of power. He's a minister. He's a senior minister. He's a senior minister. He's a member of parliament. He is a senior member of the Jamaica Labour Party. Don't let him fool you. He has a lot of sway. He can go to parliament tomorrow morning and say, we need to change some regulations around here to hold the OUR accountable. Don't make him come with them foolishness, because that is his way of getting into your mind and playing mind games with you to give you the impression that, oh, the OUR is just, they're doing their thing and he can do nothing about it. He can do a lot about it. This was the minister who came and said 95% of the country have electricity. 95% of the persons affected by Beryl have electricity. So how is he now saying that he only has bark, he has no bite? Too bad. Don't believe him. He has a lot more power than he's letting on, but he wants you to believe that narrative. But it's not true. He's the minister. He calls the shots. And he can talk to the permanent secretary. He can talk to his minister of state. They all can do something about it. They are simply choosing not to do anything about it. And that's a difference.
Well, Super Zero, I have a look at him again because the people that want to see him. See him there? The Super Zero. Yeah, Super Hero and Super Zero. You know, yeah, Super Zero and Super Hero. Super Zero, you know? Yeah, man, Super Zero. See Zero for them chest, you know, I know you never see it, you know. The big old Zero. So, people never see the Zero. Eh? Sister, you know. Eh?
No, but we are saying, him right. Because listen, the man carpet tear up, you know. So the carpet tear up, then back worse than the body. The man carpet tear up, man. And
carpet water soak.
Carpet water soak. Man carpet mash up, man, and the man so.
Yeah, man. Man said, the man super the man bring himself under the bus, so just look good. He want to say, people, me with you know, me I work with you, see there, me can't do nothing. Let me tell you this. The man them go and them try to tear up the constitution. Them Maloma trust and the whatever. I try to tear it up. The law will govern the land, them try to tear it up. One bag of foolishness. Then General Lampard signed on it. The one of them signed on it. This is foolishness. And then if you have a opposition right now, and just one go sign. So right now, I don't know where they're going, Ratty. Where they're going? Because when you reach with it, makes sense.
But Wayne and Ratty, think about this. Do you realize this is the only ministry you don't hear Andrew Holness come out and say anything about? Have you ever seen Andrew Holness coming out there and giving press conferences about his ministry?
No.
I don't recall.
And he cannot, and he will not, because Minister Vaz will not allow him. Because I'm telling you, Minister Vaz is a very imposing figure. And when I say imposing, I'm not talking about size, I'm just talking about influence. Right? And
yeah, so, his demeanor alone. Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
he's not a big fellow. But he's got a big presence, you know. And so that is not going to happen. But you say, Andrea hit the point, you know. The point just said, our Vaz and our active friend are one more from the clan, but done with me. No, Andrea, we know him. Truth be told, we know him, you know. So, but loans of my beat, all of them are run the left.
Remember. Do you remember his father, Douglas Vaz?
Yeah.
I've never met him, but I know of him.
He's Douglas Vaz.
Yeah, I've never met his dad, but I know of him. But I've met Minister Vaz. And seems to be a nice fellow, you know, fellow.
You see the same way Douglas, you see the way you say he talks. That's exactly, Douglas Vaz had that, you know, that voice and that thing there. So you would hear him speak and you would not believe that Douglas Vaz was that slender of a person. So you didn't see him and you hear him speak, you'd say, whoa, that man must be weighing 300 pounds and, you know, 7 foot tall. That wasn't, no. So he has that, he comes from that stock, really. Where the truth is, his bark is more than his bite. So he's really fooling the Jamaican people when he say he doesn't have any bark. He has bark and bite. but he's just trying to play this off, and only
Read
because Andrew cannot
words.
dabble in his ministry the way he does other ministries.
Don't read it, you don't have to read it out. Ratty. Read another comment, but you don't have to read it out. Read another comment, so Nesso. British R. Maria, British R. And I'm Mr. G.
Yeah, falls with a court Bramley like or with a court Bloomfield.
Me can't bother, you know. The people from yesterday, you know. Not my word. Not my word. Yes. The people from yesterday
See,
are going here, you
here's the
know.
thing, they have one another secret, and so that's one of the reasons Andrews, even though Andrews' cabinet is dysfunctional, all the ministers right now are dysfunctional. Their ministries are not working on the behalf of and the benefit of the Jamaican people. We can talk about education and healthcare, but he can do nothing about it to put better persons in place who might be able to get better results because everybody has everybody's secret and he dare not touch one of them. So that is why Andrew, is presiding over a dysfunctional government because he himself is dysfunctional. And I'm sure if he says he's going to do cabinet reshuffle, then I said cabinet because you can shuffle your house, but you cannot shuffle the one in parliament. It's not going to work because he doesn't have the credibility and the moral ground on which to stand to hold any of his non-performing ministers accountable because he himself is a non-performer.
Yes, right.
You know, he has more. I think he has more reasons to be concerned than any prime minister in recent history. Part of that is because the PSOJ is primary benefactor because most of the funding he's gonna get from them, apart from whatever we attribute to chopping. But I'm talking about legitimate fundraising. It's gonna come from those folks. And those folks are very, very concerned right now about the state of affairs in Jamaica. You see the dollar devalued again, right?
Right.
So now the buying power has decreased. So all of the people, and think about the minimum wage folks, the minimum wage people, where they could buy a month ago, they can't buy it now. They have to buy less because there's the dollar is rapidly losing any power that it, but it didn't have any power. It just continues to lose buying power, and so there's a feeling that restlessness among the population is on the increase. And pretty soon, the security forces will have to be called into action to suppress legitimate concerns raised by our gatherings legitimately done by the people to raise concerns about the issues. From what I'm hearing, it's not looking pretty. It's not looking pretty. So I don't know. I don't know.
But when you look at it, when you look across the board, it's not all it's that everybody's affected because the police and their pay and the equipment that they need to carry out their jobs effectively. Teachers going back to school, what condition are the schools in? Their pay situation is not properly resolved. Nurses, doctors, all they can hear is that they're bringing in teachers and nurses to replace them. And you have to ask the question, what kind of a forward thinking is that? What kind of a person, minister, thinks that, oh, the best solution for your teacher and nurse shortage or whatever shortage you're having in the education sector or health sector is to bring in new people when you have to provide those new people with better salaries, a better package than you're giving the local teachers. So rather than do that, why not just give it to the local teachers and nurses so that you can retain them? So you're having a massive brain drain because the government is not forward thinking. And on top of that, you have all these misappropriations of funds. The Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Education, two major ministries, right now are part of the 1.7 trillion dollar that is unaccounted for. You know, nobody knows what was spent where. And that has to be troubling, and nobody seems to be talking about it on the ground in Jamaica, keeping it in the on the minds of the people so that the politicians can understand that if you don't do something about it, we're going nowhere. And that is why I say auditing the JPS is not a thing for me. That's a non-issue. Why don't you audit these ministries so we can see where these monies have gone and people can be held accountable? Because you know who is suffering? The children who have to go to school, the teachers who have to teach them, the nurses who have to go to work, the patients who have to go to hospitals, and these places are not up to par. And people are behaving like, there's nothing to see here, nothing to talk about here. But there's a lot there. What is the government doing to address those problems? School reopens in less than a week. School reopens next Monday, the second, sorry. What is going to happen? What about the schools that were affected by burial? How much work are they ready for it to be reopened come Monday morning? These are the things we're talking about. What about the parents who were affected? What about their children? What about the back to school for those children? So when you look at the government and the picture of it's not a pretty one. It is not a pretty one. And this is something that the Prime Minister has not been addressing. He's behaving like, oh, we spend the most money. Yes, you spend the most money, but you're getting the least results. You spend the most money, but it is unaccounted for. Why are we not hearing about these unaccounted for money? Where are the investigations? Where is Parliament to call people before them, have these investigations, and let the chips fall where they may? So this is the kind of country that is being run. That is the kind of country that Jamaica is right now.
Look on this. Let us send something to you, Maria. You see this right?
Yeah.
And you see what it say? You want to read what it say? Mr. McCann, come on.
So the government of Jamaica has found itself in the middle of trying to resolve bribery allegations being leveled against the Jamaica Stock Exchange and Kumax Wealth Management by US-based Music Licensing Inc. and its principal JP Knock. So that's a brew. That's something that's brewing. So now they're claiming bribery being committed by Jamaica Stock Exchange. And remember, Minister of Finance, Nigel Clark, was digging up the stock exchange not too long ago. And now we see where, at least based on what Lonesome just put up on the screen, that there is an allegation of bribery against it, made by a US-based company. So, one of the things I'd like to ask is this. I'm asking people to just, for a moment, just suspend, partisanship. I know it's difficult, because it runs deep in our veins. But if they could just suspend it, just for this question, just pretend like you're neutral. You're neither JLP nor PNP, nor anything else, UIC, NDM of Jamaica. I would like people to think about the things that the government has done that poor people can hold on to in a tangible way and say, yes, I benefited from this and the government caused this to happen to me. I'm not talking about the stock market. I'm not talking about the growth that they talk about, the 12 quarters, 15, whatever the growth. I'm not talking about that. Yeah, I'm talking about something that a poor person can say, yes, my government did what it promised to do, and as a result, this is why I'm holding on to this, whatever this is. How many poor people can actually say that tonight? How many? Just putting partisanship aside, I just love for people to answer that question.
Some of them want them answer. Good question. Great question.
One lady got a donkey, another one got a bar stuck out, and one lady that after bulldoze her house, she get a one room. And then he built up quite a few fall cups all over the place and give people. That's all.
No,
but they spend the most money.
All right. So him can use like the taxpayers' money that's why him say boom bam. All right. So You know, every government, them come in and them they're carrying something like it, say, okay, we have a free education, and it is really free. And they come to the 70s. And then, you know, you have the one of these, you have the housing trust, and people are benefit right now. Because I never get no money back out of the housing trust, my money, you know, my father dead and gone, my mother dead and gone, my granny, and then people don't get back their money. Somebody else said, you know, so the money's still there. Somebody for claim it. I say, them say, yeah, man, they're twitching, you know. But me, I say, and they must be empty by this. Put something in place so we can say, all right, me see them have JD, them have jobs for the elderly. It did. Them have the National Housing Development. But no one knows something. Just give me something where Andrew put in place over the 8 years when put in place so we can say the masses of people have benefit of. Something where you know him come in with and just point out one for me. Be real. One. You can't say my fix roads, they go to mash up back there, but they were there, they are fixed long time and thing. Just point out something when come in with beneficial to the people in the street. But next, no, the SOE. I don't know, you know, just point out something where, you know, beneficial to the country straight. Eh?
Yeah. That's
not built yet. Not built yet. Not built. Somebody does find something. And by the way, they move the reserve from 3.8 million because they buy 1.8 billion and push it at 5 billion. Now, that is a paper push because the money will not devalue. We have the most reserve than if you have 5.1 or 5.2 billion in a reserve. What we have to pay back, by the way? What we pay back?
Loan sum. You want to answer Killian? 925.
Wind farm is beneficial to me. No, but to me, I talk about to the masses of people. So you invest, remember people invest in the stock exchange same way. So you can't say beneficial to me. You can go buy an investment, you're investing in something on stock exchange same way. That's how you do. So you can't say that misses something when the government do that. No, yeah, it's beneficial to me a wind farm. Most of the people them can buy food for much if you invest. So yeah, look one and look one end.
Was that people who got pass win? Then can invest in wind farm.
You can't say beneficial to me. We there fight for the people in the country. Yeah. You understand? So we know if we do that without us, anybody you know what that also know, Kellyanne, if you book one of them government minister and him say, all right, you want no, see a car, yeah, me give you a work. You say, me I worship him, you know. Enough of what people them have the attitude there. You know, you go to an MP and him say, remember buy your shoes and give your school bag for you go back to school, see 30 grand. You start worshiping me, have to vote for him. You start around up and down because I'm sending me you to school, he give me 30 grand. If the government is not do the thing the right way and you know, job there they fee you and all kind of things and they provided and everything, you're not good. You know want them 30 grand. Yes,
you don't realize is this. The 30 grand you just get are yours.
That is it.
You just give periods.
Yes.
You pay taxes. The 30 grand you just give is yours. Maybe more than that you deserve.
Yes.
And just give that. Is the shell game, then just move things around there, you can't find the ball. And that's what them just move things around and you say, oh wow, you know. But is that money is yours. Do you think you take that out of your pocket and give that to you? If not give your money, we have a cut in a fee in profit. You're not going to do that. That is your money. But you see, people struggle because and the question becomes even more difficult to answer when you say, like you frame it. I was framing it like an individual, but when you frame it, say, tell me about the masses. You know, the mass of poor people who benefit. Yeah, not just you individually, but because like I said to Killian, you may get our money off of the wind farm, but you're just one person. We're talking about communities now. Yeah. Tell us now about your community. If what benefit did it derive from the wind farm? No. So that's the question I think we have to pose to them every week. Tell us how your community has benefited from anything this government has done. Because you see, what happens is that when the government comes out and says our reserve is the highest it's ever been, unemployment is the lowest it's ever been, the rate of growth is the best ever in the history of Jamaica. The crime is the lowest it's been in 25 years. And the Prime Minister actually said something to that effect, said that some stat, he used some stat and said it hasn't happened in 25. And then he said, okay, take all of those things now that he said. Look at your community and tell me if your community has benefited from any of these things that he's saying that Jamaica benefited from. Just do that. We don't have to come up with it now. Just tell us these are the things that he said he's done.
Yes, yes. All right. So, Killian, so, sir, actually, the person, I mean, I don't know, I say, so, right, what can I say? Thousands of civilian servants. So, see there, civil servant, thousands of civil servants, but we have hundreds of thousands of unemployed people right now. We can't even buy food. Them can't buy a pound of rice. Them can't buy the chicken back to feed them people now. So you might be a better one and a handful. Remember enough people that the same way if you're a small country. That matter. And by the way, Grace Kennedy have investors too, you know. The whole of them have investors. But tell me what, they make over 1 billion and 1 billion and nearly 160 billion right now. Cause one like 140, 59, somewhere around there, right? So nearly 160 billion. They make over 1 billion US. So them investor good, even better than you. You understand? That's a profit where they make. Them deal with them investor good. And sometimes stock go down and all kind of things. Carry cement on the wall of them, you have people who invest, but then everybody have the money for to invest, man. We are talking about beneficial to the people, them, you know. Free education,
but you know,
them where
but you know, yeah, I'm listening to what you said. There's a line in one of Bob Marley's song that comes to mind. Them belly full, but them hungry. That line? Because Ratik was giving the analogy about giving them the $30,000. That's their money. Them belly full. But guess what? Them hungry because how long can that money serve them?
Yes.
So you sell your vote for $5,000. You're not voting on policy. You're not voting into your best interest. And when the $5,000 done, then what? We have to re-educate the people and say they cannot keep doing this because if people keep doing the same thing, getting the same results, and that's the definition of insanity. So you are the ones putting these people in power who do not care about it. So it's high time you make a change, do a course correction and say, no, something. No, 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 no. Come to town halls and talk to us about the issues, the schools, the hospitals, the roads. Why Anne-Marie Falls, she just lay carpet and carpet lift up. Carpet water soak, wash when lift up. Those are the things you must talk about. Was she qualified to be out there doing that? She wasn't. And they must talk to them and say, you're fixing the road. Who do you have fixing these roads? Are these people qualified to fix roads? Look at the brand new highway in St. Thomas. That just gone. Billions of dollars down the drain. Were these persons qualified? The first thing you're hearing that the mall was not the quality to be used on the road. Who owned the mall quarry? What name? One of the councillors or what near whatever out in St. Thomas. Shoeshine. Shoeshine. Now if him name Shoeshine, or you can buy mall from a man named Shoeshine. Come on. You know, put some thought into what you're doing. It cannot be that the nepotism and the cronyism and cronyism has gotten so bad that you do not put the safety of the people at the forefront of what you are doing and make sure you have the civil engineers and the structural engineers and all these technical people who have the skill set necessary to build roads in those positions. So you have cutlass carpenters out there building roads because when you hear the man say to the when Almarie Falls was out there, a late carpet, throw some man, throw some. He doesn't even know what he's talking about, but he's getting a break and they make it look as if they're doing something. What's her name? Who failed at athletics? What's her name? Bigfoot. She was another one who was posing. The one in St. Thomas, Charles. She was. Everybody's posing on these roads. Juliet Holmes. Everybody posing on these roads. Are you qualified to be there? I've never seen Drive anywhere on the I-95, 287, construction everywhere. You don't see one politician out there but them on lay road and have lay carpet. You don't see them out there because that's not their job. Their job is to create policies and pass legislation that benefit the people. Remove themselves from it. So if anybody is playing politics, is the government playing politics with the Jamaican people because everything they politicize?
Yes,
They
that is.
fix the road, they show up in a green blouse and green shirt. That
Mm.
should not be. I don't. You must not show up in any party color for fixing any road. It is your duty because that's called infrastructure. So you put the money into the infrastructure, into the department that takes care of roads, maintains roads. And when you maintain a road, you don't have to keep fixing the road, but the roads are not being maintained. And then when they do get some money to put into infrastructure, they give it to them friend and company. So by the time the friend and company buy a big house, buy a Mercedes, buy a Range Rover, the very little that is left, they just throw it and then no wonder you get carpet. So that has to change.
Tell me something, Mario. And Ratty. If a government do the right thing, right, and them a work really, you think them have to come now another PR to tell you and cut ribbon and show anything? Don't you gotta feel it? You gotta feel it in your pocket, you gotta see it in your household, you gotta see it around you. You think fence them, it go on till it just swap out and when you look, black up and when you look, the little shack where you know, when you look, you can build it up now and you can provide for your kids them and when you look, you road them pave off and when you look your life, you know, get, you know, step up in a life. Them have to come and talk to you. You think so? Them have to come and do PR. We tell you, say, hey, we do this, and we do that. It don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. You have to feed it. You have to feed it. You have to see your neighbor, you can start by your own food and your neighbor can buy for them food too. And that cut down crime and violence, so believe it or not. See? You know what hurt me? When a man get up in a ratty, hear the part now. We never hear this yet. When a man get up, or a woman get up and them sell them vote. You know who that most hurt wicked when I'm not saying in Jamaica? The young kids, them under 18 we can't vote. Who stunted them future. I make them hungry.
That is exactly Wayne.
Government and
Exactly.
I remember them can't vote for themselves. Them can't fend for themselves. You're under 18. And who come make this decision for you so bad? Them are hungry. And at them some irritated man are drawing. Both girls and boys. I sodomize them. That's why we should have one of the book them for put enough of them government members, enough of them politicians and big boys. You have put them name in the book, the sexual history. Because you have enough of them and enough little boy them mash up, you know. You understand? Both girls and boys because of hungriness and because of need. You understand? It's wrong. In the country put them kids and them old people last is a failed state. How much time they gonna repeat it? You know why you what them say? Because them country run us already. See? Them country run us up. Then we have our school bus, you know. And if you drive past a bus, they find big. When it stop and put out a little stop time thing there. You remember it have camera on it. You understand? So them put them kids them, you know, so them keep them, you know, put out something to remove them and everything. The school them will contact you. They will contact you. You understand? No care what you do, up to the school them will contact you. The teacher them will interact with you as parents. Yes. You understand? And if them go make complaint, you know, start trouble around here. Our kids them in Jamaica, them the business how you go to school. It's something say what I want to take bus in some place. Sometimes them people take them away. Eh? Some little baby sit here one thing, you know, that's oh God man, come on now. Not prepared for them. You're there on your own, you come like some little animal ready on your own till you reach the age, voting age. Yeah, but them can't use, you know, them run around. And these people suffer in the country most. You understand? So when a man get up and a man self-him vote and make them money up and down, you have hundreds of thousands of the young one them where can't vote, can't do nothing for themselves. Them suffer the most. Them suffer the most. Them go bed hungry too. Nobody business about them. And that's what we are talking about, man. Them about caring. Them caring, the man caring. That's uncaring. The nicest thing about you can relax and see the little one, them are the future, you know. And you see them have food, them not have beg nothing. And you know them have dinner to eat. And you feel good. And them have them little TV for watch and do them little school work. Or do them little work and them go at them bed and wake up and can get something in the morning. And the greatest thing that for me. See? But when you have uncaring government and tell them, oh, we do this and then when you look much people are dead younger, they have to put them on part, put them come in with part. And then you get a little 3 grand. We can't do nothing for 2 months or 3 months before you get back an extra 3 grand or something. That's a joke. And then they tell you, say, hey, we are doing this because we are doing this. And then for go, man. Stop it, man. Say, stop it. You want caring government. Caring government that care about them. You kept them from them small like this and deal with it. Ratty, you ever see where you live? You ever see the kids them around where you live and Maria? I walk and I beg on the street and I wear car glass. Yeah, where you, yeah. You ever see? Okay.
No.
Okay. And sleep and you pass the little baby them and them the pan outside of sleep and people around them when them a wipe car glass. Now go to school.
No.
And you go in the street. And then you have some big man that sodomites them, I take them and sodomite them. Some of them go up and live in a gully now, and them are sodomite them. You see that one, no?
No, social services are coming. That couldn't happen. That couldn't happen.
So that's what we want to Jamaica. These are the things that me about for around here. These are the things that it really bother me. Because, you know, you have enough people. And then, enough of them uptown. Them near to the Prime Minister office. Them are white cars, them go to the street, them live there, New Kingston. So some of them put on their little fact. Because the big boys, them. I remember, you know, you have some man where in the force, so them pick them up to allow them have them wife. Yes. And the big boys, them. And some politicians pick them up too. You understand? From them small. No schooling, nothing at all, and that, you know, come on now. Come on now.
Yeah, but when do you realize that the crime statistics, crime is being committed more by younger people? So where is the investment in the young people? They are not investing in them at the basic school level, primary, high school. So that's why they're just really going through the motions. And when you look at the CXC rate results right now, dismal. You look at we used to call it common entrance, dismal. Children are leaving primary school, going to high school, cannot read and write. Children are leaving high school, cannot read and write. How does that make any sense? So where's the investment in these? You cannot address crime without addressing poverty and education. And to address education, you have to address poverty. You have to look at both because a hungry child cannot learn. And so you have to do an investment in education and in poverty alleviation programs. Parents want better jobs. How about looking at schools and putting a school feeding program in the schools where they cannot get at least one hot meal for the day, even one. How you can provide some other food. Where is this the school farms? Because when I was growing up, which was just the other day, you had in the schools a farm. You know who tended those farms? The teacher and the children. So you planted potatoes, you planted tomatoes and peppers and callaloo, and it all came from the school farm. So the school was able to do a lunch feeding program. Chickens were raised. You look at the farmers. Now, if you have a thriving farming community, they can also provide food to these farms, to these food to these schools. So they have to look at serious investment in education, in all aspects of education. They need to look at a social program. Need to look at skills training, vocational training. You cannot just sit down and talk about you just investing in crime. You're going to fight. You can't fight crime. Crime is fighting you. You cannot fight crime. So how are you managing crime? How are you managing crime? You cannot manage crime without an investment in the program that will help young people.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Patty.
No, me I get a new it's a new phone. Yeah, me need a new phone too. I get a new mic. Next time you see me on the program, I have a brand new mic, right?
Yeah.
It'll kick up dust. But you know, when I read some family members from St. Elizabeth reach out to me, and they must suffer. They must have healthcare issues. They must have economic issues. They not eat a good meal in a while, and now me have to do for help, you know, because them say there's no work there. Very much up where them come from, and the assistance that they thought they would have gotten, them to get it, and so they must starve right now. Starve. It hurt me to listen to the. I mean, and them really the proud people. Them don't want to ask me, no, but them say why it gets so bad right now. That and listen to this. Them say whatever you can send, it no matter how small, whatever you can send to us, we appreciate it. I mean, whew.
You see, this is what me talk about, you know. Today now, we there, so I say, but me the time I kick up and I say, boy, I got eat my bakery in a liquor, you know. In a liquor, me soon go eat my bakery. See? Yeah, man. Some people have said that, you know, maybe them about you and say, you can go eat bakery, we not about dirt. When we have to go, we don't know water we are drinking and go over bed. And you have some predator now, some big old greatest predator. And we find a little baby girl and some little boy too, you know, because them have to put little boy them out too nowadays, you know. Them down in Jamaica, them forget lock up, you know. Not for them, you know. Yeah? Them just wait upon them and pray upon them because them not have nothing. Take for them the cleaner sense. Big up yourself again, Ty. Take for them the cleaner sense, you know. It's wrong. My co-host never laugh, you know. Me just laugh too. Me don't know if I something me say. Me don't know if I something me say. But it's serious. Yes, it's serious.
It is serious. It is serious. And it is and what makes it even worse is when you have this this amount of predatory behavior in Jamaica and there's no sex offender registry. So it's like the children at the mercy of these predators. So there's so much that needs to be done. And you have a Minister of National Security whose name is in WikiLeaks, who's not doing anything to protect the children. You know what I'm saying? And, God rest the soul of Betty and Blaine. You know, I mean, who is continuing her work? You know how many hundreds of children go missing on a yearly basis in Jamaica? And the Prime Minister, with all this technology, cannot find them? You know how many young women and young men go missing, can't find them? The Prime Minister, with this technology, cannot find anybody. So you have to ask the question, what is it what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you spending the money on?
You might have some little stock and they might try push up something. But finally, we're going to look for like people are high. They think people are 1 cent and 5 cents. What I'm doing, so just 1 cent and 6 cents. Why? And I man, from as long as we don't come from
they still have 1 cent. They still have 1 cent in Jamaica. Is that what he's looking for?
1 cent and 5 cents because we know them not have that. So because them that high, them they gone. So yeah. You understand? These things that will stop in Jamaica and people really are hungry. And when you say they vote, you hurt them the future because them not voting on that. Because you have to numerate when you're 18 and over. So even when you're 17 plus, them don't make you numerate. You have to reach 18, right?
Mm.
So the whole of them they go right down to zero. To them baby there. When you just vote and you put in them people, can you imagine a man say,
but stick up in their win. Isn't the government trying to raise the age of adulthood from 18 to 23?
Well, I say them come in with a foolish system and I don't understand it. They might tell you, say, your responsibility if look like you have a daughter or a son and them come in with, the 23, you responsible for them. So till a Chuck come in with that foolishness, Chuck. Come in with something where you might push them. I don't understand him. I don't understand him. Yes.
That is the problem we are having. They are spending time on things that are not important. This is a government that has time for things that mean nothing. You spend $1.5 billion on a job letter, a job whatever you call it now. But you can just Google it. Just Google it. And you can find a job description for whatever jobs you're looking for. Whatever portfolio it is, you can find a job description for it. And they spend $1.5 billion on it. Now you're talking about needs. How much billions yet you have the schools are broken, the hospitals are broken, roads need fixing, and you're spending money on those things. They spend money now to go get insurance protection from hurricane. When you read the fine print, they won't benefit at all. How many millions of dollars it is? That's in Jamaican dollars, US dollars, is it costing them? So it's a government that finds money for nonsense. And the things that they must invest in, they say they have no money for.
So I understand the government. Chuck, let me talk to you directly. Come and talk to you. So like what I'm gonna say, you say, no, come and see it, you know, when they say for maintain and keep them till them at 23. Them are come in with that now. You for maintain them. So you can turn police when you're 18 and go train. And 19 and 20. Like the soldier just said by 20, where like a friendly fire and them try to come by to fallen mother. And then I one about 21, like them doing something about being enriched. And then I look a young man. But your parents, when I have it already, if you mind you support you till 23. So if that means you can carry up your parents and then the government come and pressure your parents and say, hey, we are going to hold you accountable for a man, you know. We get too much youth or your daughter, we get our youth and married. You are 23, you know. 23, till 23. What happened to Chuck? Eh? All they need for those is provide loan and grants. And by the way, they must to know the meaning of grants. Grants are not something where you give back. Grant, right? When you get grants, right? You don't give back grants, right? But loan now you back and give back, right? Right, Tati?
Yeah.
So they make loan and grants. Okay. So they must to know this, right? So I bet they make people can get loan, school loan and all kind of things. But you know, come up with some foolishness around here, man. You don't make no sense. Come up with something where it's sustainable. We can help the country. And stop the wastage. Because after them say them have the best road out of St. Thomas, you know. And then maybe show the road got me I tell you I cry for the road.
Show me.
But if you show me the road, where you want 9 mile and 10 mile, all that too, you know. Look at road at 9 mile. Just put in 9 mile. 9 mile. Highway St. Thomas. How much is this? 9 mile. Is I think 11. You see what that look like? They have to pull it up back to the way the bridge there, and this is what they have put up on it now. I brand new road, you know. You believe this? May I continue straight? See there? See how put that right up now? And then you just look, let me show you the next part. Just look on the word I wrote, St. Thomas Road. Okay, St. Thomas. But and the Prime Minister, the proud that I wrote, by the way, you know. Yeah? Proud item at St. Thomas. Let me see that one here. This is a Roselle. I'm at the fact, this is the Prime Minister. This is the Prime Minister talk about the way.
Yeah. St. Thomas is coming into its own from the new road infrastructure to the Morant Bay Urban Center. St. Thomas is experiencing a renaissance. Follow me to see the progress being made on the Morant Bay Urban Center.
So I'm telling you, I'm sure you're right. That's no. This I tell you, renaissance. You hear them right there. And I'm Minister, you know, Prime Minister, St. Thomas. Highway. St. Thomas Highway. All right, Peter. Bus stop. All right. Look on this.
This is in the vicinity of the roadside fountain in St. Thomas. This is the road, and by all indications, this stretch of the highway probably will be impossible in a few hours. Waves are already reaching up to the road.
So that's it. Let me show you the cost stuff now. Let me see the cost stuff. Because, you know, the man them tell us one thing, you know, and them proud and them run out. You have to hold them to account, you know. Or it's stay there now. You can't let them go. No. So me just want to show this. I'll show you the next one. The amount of them me just get up here. So. Every minute me get a new thing from them, you know, come here, watch them fix it. Right now, dig up, you know. Most of them have some square on the road, the brand new highway. Yeah?
Look, me send you something if you can share your screen.
Oh, me look. You send me something right now,
You know I play. It have to do with roads.
All right, yeah, to cost us. All right, I'll do this, and I'll do all that.
Cost us are really
Yeah, friend.
I'll definitely tell the Prime Minister, but I want to assure you that we're out here, we have seen the damage. I'm really happy for the advocacy that you have done for the people of St. Thomas, and we're definitely going to do what is necessary to ensure that the road is repaired properly. They're going to have to dig up everything and relay it at no cost to the government and the people.
Yeah, you have to dig up everything. So you have built a road, but the best one supposed to there for generation, and then really come say this. Then maybe it makes sense to you. Let me say, this right thing. Let me see.
All for your information and urgent action.
Did they reply?
No.
Did you reply to that? What do you want to go?
Stop it there.
It's as simple as that.
Stop it. All right. Why rewind it, and then when me this is how you deal with roadworks and contractors. This is a real minister. This is happening in Guyana. Start it again, brethren, please.
All for your information and urgent action.
Did they reply?
No.
Did you reply to that? No. Well, then you want to work. It's as simple as that. So, demobilize off the site. You're not on this project anymore. We can't keep you here. Y'all do all the calculations to make sure they don't have any money for us, or pull the bond, or whatever the case is. And Chairman and Engineer, by 3 o'clock this afternoon, you're going to make a submission of a short list so we can get a contractor to finish this project. I will keep you on the job if you take your car and drive to the end of the road and come back. I'll wait right here and I'll keep you on the job. Take your car and drive and go in and come back out.
No, I can't drive on that road.
Well, then you can't keep the work. Because these people can't drive the car and go in and come back, and you're holding them up. If you drive your car and go down to the back and come back, you will finish the road. If you can't do it, then you can't stay on this job. I'm putting somebody else to do it. It's straightforward like that. We got to operate with principle. You got this job since August. This is now heading to August, and you're at 45%.
The situation was similar as it relates to the rehabilitation of a bridge connecting Zilot North to Tushin North as well as Forest Cross Street, Arakari. To address this delay, Ejel assured the residents that alternative measures will be implemented.
No, they had wood and sticks and so on in the asphalt. I sight with my own eyes. So, Chairman and Engineer, y'all come to me by 3 o'clock this afternoon with 5 contractors who are mobilized in the area and who got capacity and would have had the experience of doing work of a similar nature. And we will do a short list and we will get this project executed. As a ministry, we have to take responsibility for the inconvenience and the difficulty that you are facing. The intent was that we should have brought relief to you by building the road, because when we embark on a road project, it's to improve the lives of people. But to the contrary, it would appear that we have made life more difficult.
The government has adopted a zero
tolerance. And that's what I talk about. So me want to show you the other part of the road. Now I'm look for the customers because I want to show you the other part of the road before we even pull up in a car big time. But you know, so I have to show this. I'm going to show the highway. Yeah? Yeah, man, I'm going to show the highway. Because them dangerous, man. Them dangerous. You can't have a road where you play politics with. And you tell me the road, and then when you look at mash up now, you still come play politics front of people that people are that. It not work. Them to stop it. Them to stop. Yeah? It need to stop. Let me see this. I have 2 different thumbs there, I run off, I know. We have 2 different thumbs there. Let me see that one. One for the custom. Yeah. You live in 7 Mile Bull Bay area and they are digging up. All right. Barbara, you did it right now? Shoot that thing and send, come give me now. Do it right now. Me tell you, them dig up the old road. You see it right there? Them dig up, yeah. You understand? Everywhere them dig up. And this part, you can't say you done the road or you have the road and you have to dig it everywhere you turn and dig up. It's bad. Right? Highway 11 mile. So the next part of town. We just show 9 mile highway St. Thomas. All right, so me show next piece here. This just take this. This just take that. No. The one me just show. Me show next one now. Highway. Man, them dig up at the whole road. And them tell us that's the best road, you know. Remember now we said it, you know. The Prime Minister himself come say, don't, you know. Let me see this, St. Thomas Road. Dig up, all right. So next one, yeah. This is another night. This is the other night, in the my life, and I show this. Look on this. Somebody will go up and make this. Let me come in. And there it is.
Highway.
This is St. Thomas Highway. Okay. You just finish the highway and you got minus and everywhere you got and then on the side and funny no look like. You go look for the car and I'm saying, I have to go back and everything same when I can do the back. See there? You saw them have to dig it completely out. Yeah? And at this, Andrew that's saying proud and the best thing I can more than 100 years. You can have this for more than 100 years. It's a goddamn shame. You understand? This is a shame, man. This is a 9 miles.
So when you can feel it, the wheel behind you. And you know,
okay. See them in the tell you, man? No, tell me I forget value for money. Remember the Prime Minister come out and talk loud at St. Thomas in the east. And then him tell you one under the road. You know, so this is the last video I'm going to play for the night. Remember just play that video, yeah? We have to play that video for the night. This is the Prime Minister himself. Because I'm like, hold him accountable and just remind him. I have to remind him, you know. I have to remind him about this. Watch this. This time I build prison. Let me just go to the road. St. Thomas in the east. Right? Prime Minister a build road. Right. So my build hospital also. This try. Alright. Hold accountable. Alright. Them know in a ditch to make the money. Benefit. Poverty. Oh, this is what they well on there. Am I destroy poverty there, so? Why honest why building road? Why the amount I think we just show up here, so you know. Brother. Unbelievably, you know. Black Road. Black Road, alright. Let me see. Alright. Pimsey Road, alright. Road. Alright, let's see this. Road conference. Alright, Sita people.
That was stable. The government allocated close to $4 billion to deal with urgent and emergency repairs of roads. This will not be enough, but we hear the cries of the people in the rural communities who feel that their roadways have been neglected. You know me already. I am not one to pretty up things. I'm going to tell you as it is.
As is.
Jamaica has more roads per square mile than most other countries. At one time, we were number 2 in the world. We are about number 4 or 5 now. We have a whole heap of roads. And everyone expects that the road must be asphalted to a certain condition. Let me bring to your attention that the number of roads that we have, maybe only 10% of them have been maintained from the time that they were constructed to standards that would allow them to stand up to the traffic that they take. What does that mean? The roads in your communities, many of them were constructed 50 years ago. No maintenance was done to them, maybe a little patching.
Like,
but
when you leave, you know, PWD, right? When you leave Jamaica, you know, PWD. Agency. So the road, so we have all parks with flowers and them things and grass, you know that. So in a lie, you know, 50 years ago, you had dropped back in the 70s. But you know, you have we live through this. Remember, nobody not tell you about this, you know. We are come from 60s. So he can't tell me no. And then him lie because I come from 72. And if I come from 72 by 78 in a grade 1, I lie me I tell. So I know when I say him lie, you know. Enough people remember when I go basic school. Him that go basic school maybe when I was 3 or something like in a 75. So him you know, say him just want to lie, you know, him dangerous. Yeah? Him dangerous. You hear this? The road them not maybe just patch it never fix lie. The road them never even have no patrol in them. You remember last time they said pay patrol in the road? Right? No, go so. In dangerous road them used to clean. Bus used to run on time, people. Time. If you miss bus after school, remember, it's the next bus there get, so you have to wake up early. Remember, you have to wake up. Allow me to tell Maria, allow me to tell Ratty. You have to wake up early. It runs on time in.
If Metro left you, the last bus was Progress. So you have to catch. It doesn't matter. You better try and catch Progress. So yeah, and you had Beverly's and you have Morning Star and Sunflower. But those were the day, and you had Grey Mist. So those were the day buses. But the last 2 buses for the night coming from Kingston to go up the country Metro and Progress. Progress was the last bus to the night.
Make I tell you something in them places though. When me have a country, me go Black River back in the last part of the 70s, you know. And me a ratty, it come like Jamaica big like United States, you know. From me I travel from around 9 o'clock in the morning and somewhere around there, so I reach down a Black River around after 10 and go 11, you know. Serious, you know. Because the bus stop in every little town place and it pick up, because you know it have to stop there. It have to go Spanish Town and stop in a Old Harbour, and then it stop in a Maypen. And then remember it a pass and a pick up something, and then it go in a Mandeville and it stop. And it have to stop at Santa. It have to stop and then it have to stop other places too, but it stop in there, so feel like if it take half an hour before it move over an hour, people come off and then pack up. So when you look, sun gone down and place dark, you know it. It's like it make Jamaica look big them time the rat. Allow me to tell you. Eh? It make Jamaica look big. Yeah, man. So them trip there, you could have take a plane and reach where you reach long time, and then Boston and just over with it. So catch one pan timing. Them on pan timing. I'm not joke.
Everybody now wants at one time that the government must find the resources to fix all these roads. It's not possible.
Everybody want to know that one. No, but this man will tell you in the opposition, you know. If you go say you hold government accountable for everything, and you rush people, it's not possible.
And by the way, while I was preparing for this speech, I came across a budget presentation of a former Prime Minister in 1994.
So this is 2023, November. So you do a speech right here, you do something where you do. You go back, go look like 29, nearly 30 years ago, and I look the speech. And you after the Prime Minister said the same thing. No, you might repeat what the Prime Minister said, because they write a speech from Patterson's speech. Yeah, you know.
And you know what? He was making the same point about roads. This is not a problem that emerged overnight.
You make the same point about road. So when they go look back on the point there, and remember best people father for ideas in a ratty. See me and Maria, you see him? Best people father. But here the road not St. Thomas now.
But people want to take it and turn it into a political problem.
You hear where the political come from? Don't make him do no PR and tell about when you talk to hold him accountable. You're political and you're politicized. You have a government that hold them accountable. No matter tell you politicized, because I'm telling the truth, people. You know, you see, the one them have them umbilical card attached to Angelonis, they will not come and criticize him. Because they might get the little thing on them outside. You understand? Yes. So they might get the little sugar. A little sugar cream. So them now go say nothing. Yeah? So but you have to hold the government accountable. Them are play politics, not me. Not we around here. Them. You hear what I'm saying? Not politicize, but impoliticize everything. See?
Don't turn our roadways into a political football.
All right. People want to listen good again. So, but here, you might talk about it, you must turn it in a political football, but you might turn it in a political football right in front of you. That's what I tell you, him and him PR now work. Here it is now.
We will make the allocations in this budget and in the budget to come to make repairs and improvements to local and secondary roads as far as we can. But you will also notice that we are making the investments in the highways. St. Thomas in the east.
You know, just say it and leave it, you know. So I'm going to details now, and at the same word, I'm just show all the picture patch up and mash up, you know. Hear this now?
A parish that spawned our self-government.
Let me stop that. Me know, me the man is a historian still, but what when Paul Bogle them they take government self-government from anybody in a St. Thomas. Me know you know anything about it? Me know them they because me don't know about that, you know. But that the Prime Minister said. This is about the rebellion. No, the people them want better this and better that and them go march and thing and them catch them and crucify them. But me don't know where Andrew has say yes. Them crucify the two of them. William Garden and Bogle. George. John.
Well, they took back self-government, but gave it back after a while.
Who did take self-government? Paul Bogle? How am I say? The man them a protest like how we are do against this, you know, so them decks and them go crucify the two man them, see? William Garden and them want, you know, they want equal rights and enough more things. They never take self-government. What them do, drop a coup? Me never know that.
But St. Thomas, the rebellion, made the colonial masters then start to pay attention to the conditions in Jamaica. And from then, St. Thomas was treated like the forgotten parish.
Wow.
I remember.
Who treated so him? Him themselves treated so the one, James. I ever treated like forgotten parish or by vote. Him?
In 2016, having a Prosperity Live meeting in St. Thomas, and a young man stood up in the meeting and said, Prime Minister, I'm paraphrasing him now, we want to feel like we're in the modernity now, like we are a part of modern times. We don't have no Kentucky and we don't have no stoplight. That was his perspective of being in modern times. Of course, we understand what he was trying to communicate.
I'm not tell you, say, him tell like, so you stand up and say that to him. Mr. You try it up a university. I'm not a fact, him have to speak when I feel time. And now you may stop him. I mean, him rush the youth. So the youth stand up and say, Prime Minister, we want this and we want that. He lie, man. Too lie. Continue.
We have made the investment, not just to put blacktop on a mall surface.
Oh, well, I got him though. I paint me same put. Him say not to put blacktop. Eh? Well, I'm betting him right now all over. Say next man say JPS crap him, yeah. When me done this show now, it double. Everybody double up. Them a ball to it.
We are building roads that can withstand these strange weather events of climate change. We are building roads that have water mains running under them. Yes. We are building roads with fiber optic capabilities in them. We are building roads that have drains in them. And we are not just building roads to nowhere. We are building town centers that can become...
Rati, Maria, please don't tell me now. Which town center? Remember, just move Andrew because it's a lie again. Which town center, Andrew Bill? Which one? Just give me one. Tell me one town center where Andrew Bill.
Lee's Flat.
Lee's Flat, another town center that in because in the building a town center, let the people that are having things, Andrew Bill stop the lies and stop these things and be real. In the build one town center, Spanish town. The center it built out. In build brand new center down there. Halfway tree. Downtown.
You must say my build one somewhere out in the east there. Somewhere in St. Thomas.
That's called the urban center. It is. So you have a river, you have the bridge, right at Springfield, there's some good year there. So you have some people live there, some because they have some houses. So over there, so we go perform over there. So we know the place good. You understand? And then you have a nephew, film, cousin them and everybody work up a good, used to work a good year. Come here, so that's a company. We know the whole place. Know the whole place good. Alright. So that's all. It's a fence. So you can drive going. They might have some problem with traffic. So then what them do, they move the courthouse from the center and I'll carry it over there. And the bank then. And I said, we are creating job, but tell me what, if you move the bank from out of the town center, remember when you're going to the center, you still a pass it for go Port Marant and continue on your way for go Portland, you know. See? So there's so over Goodyear is a fence, it's fence up like how you have over Portmore Mall, but that's a fence up. So you have to go in with a police post. So you don't have the bus, you don't have no bus thing in it, you don't have nothing, you don't have no marketing there, you don't have these things kind of and a town center. It's just like a complex, like how you're going to one of them big complex, and you know, see, adapt them a bit. So that ain't a town center. I remember the river block it off, you know. So one way in and brother. One way in. One way out. And then you have a wall around it. Now, one of the days I'm going to show them say it's not a town center. That is bull crap. That ain't a town center. That's a good year, and then build it up or put some building in it and them things. That's a block off. Yeah? You can't, when you drive to come back on the road and go, you can't turn, so but turn down, so remember them have to put some stoplight or some runabout. Now, right. You understand?
Yeah.
That not right, none at all. See? So don't build no town center. Dead trap. If not build no town center, not even one. Me am say I build a city. Which part him say I build a city again, Maria?
In Clarkstown, Trelawney.
Oh, so in the build it yet. Him say I build a city down at Clarkstown, Ratty. You Ratty?
What, that Clarkstown?
Him say I build a city down at Clarkstown. Him turn Clarkstown in a city.
Well, look, him say I do a lot of things, so you have to give him credit for that.
You just come and tell people so.
No, I give him credit for complete the project, you know. I give him credit for enumerate the projects them to say, well, we have to do this, we have to do that, we have to do this. Because remember, these are not promises, these are commitments.
No, but you see, him do it in the first term, and the people then put me in back with the one of the line with the clocks and everything. He might go pay all in the second term, and I'm going for peanut bread, I'm going to show up peanut bread at the same time, I'm going to plate of food. He not chat to the man. You're committed. If you finish the man or something, you should have finished it. Ambassador, you should talk to the man. Not true. Eh?
Where's the Clarkstown, say my bill?
Yeah, now city. Now turn it in our city.
Clarkstown, Trelawney.
Oh, because, all right, fine. In our city. Because we don't think about him, maybe wardrobe, because I'm about all the clocks in there. So,
oh. No, two way them, you know.
That's the one of them say Clark City or Clarkstown or Clark Square or
Yeah, you're on point, my brother. That's a good one, right? Clarkstown, them have a whole heap of park.
Well.
See
that? Bank of that, you know. At the bank of see the funny thing. See it, man. The bank yes, the bank got to put up, you know. Yeah, man. Yeah, my man, you have a clocks up there, you know. I was like, yeah, man. I really just knocking your clocks, them, because the clocks are going, you know. Yeah, see? But we know, you know, as I said before, I could tell the people them again. You see, when you're there, so you have the Her Majesty, His Majesty, government and the opposition. So we not see it as, you know, when you hold the government accountable, like what Andrew said. You know, when people can't get through, you're holding by their own word, but them do them start play a political, you know, a political kind of thing. You say, oh, in political, it don't make no sense. So if you was if you was a JP, no care what him do, you must say what him accountable. All when them kill you and them rich, them are chop money, them do things. That don't make it no good for you. Because let me tell you something on yourself. Politicians now come bother me, you know. But my road them fix. And my road them cleaner than some plate. It might have make some people when them not soap for clean them thing. My road score with water and everything, you know. Sanitizer, my road cleaner than some plate. Them not have no soap for wash some plate, and a joke. Them not have the money. And it's bad. I mean, I'm not skip outside. We not have none. We not have them not give it skip. You understand? Because you have, you know, separate rubbish and everything and then pick it up every Thursday, you know, I said, come pick up and thing. Your road very clean. And every day it clean. Every day. See? Every day.
Sure,
Yeah?
so I make jokes tonight because I make dinner.
Yes, I want to feel happy. Can't eat from morning, from early on.
You're reading
Yes.
that. You're reading that book, Ratty.
Eh? As me after before, I could just finish address them, Ratty.
Yes, sir.
Nobody wants to become me. It's every day for world government accountable, like what Andrew said, all well thinking Jamaican for raise them fights in concern against the government and the high level of crime, high level of crime, and then the government is not doing enough to control crime. Him say the whole government accountable. Him say it. So now him aware the shoes now, him, you know, film party from the government. Me not busy about party where you are the government. We are all you accountable. Nothing wrong with that. Not true. We not for hold them accountable, Maria. Arati, of course. And when you hold them accountable, you might come and say, oh, look, because he might PMP my hold you accountable. Yeah, this, that. Who cares to people where you want? Me not care about nobody want to say. One big man, you know. We are hold him accountable. I mean, a big friend. We are stand up for the masses of people who are suffering of that. And that's how we there. You understand? Yeah, we're not big friend. And remember, you know, when them come over, Andrew can come here too, you know. We treat you nice. Top Tom come here and him run off. Him bolt. Allow me to tell you, brother. Top Tom come and him run off. We never run him. Him bolt.
You call the sense?
No, sorry, because like him say we are doing bad enough, so in the car message.
You call him, man. You call him, man, and talk to him.
Come in back, man. Him know kind of watch you, man. Him say, you know, him run off and the people them beg, so you run off. Them wife come answer some things around here. Yeah. Yeah. Remember play this song because this, remember so we have the 31st, we have the thing. I'm going to play this and play that because remember the 30th, remember say I was leaving to New York, so I'm going to play about that right now. So the one of that, I'm going to play that and show you some little things. You understand? See it here? Right.
Jamaicans should raise their voice in concert.
One Jamaica Legal Defense Foundation invites all Jamaicans and friends of Jamaica to raise our voices in protest against corruption, crime, poverty, failed health care, poor education, and more injustice taking place in Jamaica. This takes place on Friday, August the 30th, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And this takes place at the Jamaican Consulate at the corner of East 41st Street and 2nd Avenue in Manhattan, New York. Remember, all Jamaicans and all friends of Jamaica, come and raise your voices in protest against all injustices taking place in Jamaica. Let's all come out in support to make Jamaica a better place.
All right, so we want to make sure, you know, when you come out, support, and that we are talking about now, good. I remember. And then remember, we have to treat the kids them good. So we have this. Let me try it up phone now. So the run things thing, they treat 31st. And this, you know, family fun day and everything, and treat and everything, and bags this, give it this. We're not going to see them thing because we do them thing every year, you know. We have to do them thing. We have to do things like this, you know. That's what us be. You understand? And then we have this next month. I mean, who can't swim, got swimming around, master tomorrow. What's this, Ratty? I'm not play the tune for it. I did not thought tune I play. This is a boat ride every year, you know. Yes. Yeah, man. Party and deck, Ratty. I just saw party there, you know. See it there? The 8th of September. See it, boy? Relax. I run your set there. You see it? I run your set.
Me not go spend my time in a jail house.
You hear it? Yeah, man. Huh? Party and deck. Yeah, man. See it there? One theory they sell out, yeah, man. I said, look, man, we enjoy ourselves in a Ratty. Yeah.
Make them go and talk. Rich them.
And I'll see you on this. Yeah, man. One of them. There I see one.
I'm in a boat, but I get in a false start. Hi, them know me damage it.
Yeah, man. See? So they know the thing them stay already. When they can't miss it, this is the 8th of September. It's another Run Things production. You can't miss it. Miss up with this, you know? Yes. See? We have the 80s, 90s. Yes, man. We have the 80s, 90s and November. And then, you know, Mama and Jared Strong, so, you know, say, a party that after that. And then, you know, the anniversary, 26 years anniversary, you know, 26. Right? So, yeah, well, you know, we celebrate after that with a soul party. And, you know, members only. So, we invite us a couples. No single and no, you know, yeah, we invite, you know, couples and things. So, soul party, R&B, you know, yes. You know, more family, more, yeah. Fair? Yes. And that time of December, 19th of December, so I'll keep the thing after that, you know, soul party, shop. Yeah? Wrap up the thing and thing, you know? Yes. I remember we come up with the Titans too, you know. That's the Titans and friend and all kind of things. Because Andrew, we're there, man. We're all it. See? We're better. A time for it, we swim around, you know.
Understand. Now hold something to it, you know? Now get something.
You have to tell them I will not be yet, you know. If that's the so what you said? You just hold something too.
Now hold something.
All right, me there later.
All right, cool.
Good evening, good night, good morning, good afternoon, worldwide. Yeah, man, this is Stoner.
I want to them clown them. You don't know. Come up like say them walk up, instigate certain things down here. How would them think them a try steer? Note some. I want to them fool them. Them a try to draw we out. Tell them. Anytime me rise up this something, yeah. Me bust it up and make it smooth like a muffler. Boy come and tell me them a talk when man a gorilla. Anytime.
Yeah, man, this is Stoner.
A pass no say nothing, yeah. Fool. Do not make me rise up this something, yeah. Me bust it up and make it smoke like a muffler. Boy, come and tell me them a talk when man a...
Good morning.
Anytime the...
Good evening.
A pass no say nothing, yeah. I want to them. What? Boy say the bad we don't know from when them a cover that we see pan them. Them full of...
Good evening.
I can bad man walk but never ever see.
Yeah, man, this is Stoner.
Which ends them a lock with the little...
Worldwide.
Them a share with the one of them friends. Soon as the boys start them catch weak heart and a ball like Sharon and Gwen. Rise up the ocean and the Chinese them.
Good morning.
I'm like these man them. Some of one intimidate and violate, we annihilate and eliminate them. Boom! This dark water end. Blood I go stay like ink